right, y'all. Shabbat shalom, y'all. Have a look at Tuba. We good?
Yes, sir.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath day, y'all. May the Most High bless us today, y'all, with good understanding of His word and power as we spread forth the gospel or the good news of the Messiah, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the mighty Redeemer.
Yes, sir.
The Holy One of Yisrael. Y'all know how we do. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem as written in the manuscript. Y'all, men ought to uncover their head when praying or prophesying within the assembly. Women ought to cover their head when praying or prophesying within the assembly, y'all. We want to lift our hands up high, y'all. We want the Most High to lift us up today.
That's right.
Long live the King.
Long live the King. All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. And in the name of His only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior.
Yes, sir.
Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know him around these parts, y'all, as Jesus the Christ. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 11th chapter, it reads, In the Most High put I my trust. How say ye to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? For lo, the wicked bend their bow. They make ready their arrow upon the string, that they may privily shoot at the upright in heart. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The Most High is in His holy temple. Yahweh's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, His eyelids try the children of men. Yahweh trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and in horrible tempests.
Yes, sir.
This shall be the portion of their cup. For the righteous Elohim loveth righteousness. His countenance doth behold the upright. Hallelujah! Say it!
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I missed that, y'all.
We got it. We knew where you was at.
Woo! Believe on Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
With all your heart, mind.
Y'all, before we get started, just want to send shouts out, to all the sick and shut in, y'all. Still praying for that Mike Bugs. I made a few calls, left a few messages. I haven't spoken to his wife on the last call, so haven't heard anything from Naptown around that way. So y'all just need an update on Mike Bugs if anybody got it. But we still praying for that.
Yes, sir.
Still praying for Sister Stacy. Her mom is doing very well, but got a few more steps to go. Praying for the house of Uriah.
Yes, yes.
Continually, y'all. And all the Israelites, y'all.
How's your mom doing?
Mom doing wonderful, man.
Good, good.
Boy, 3-4 days, she was back to her 100. I believe she was just mostly dehydrated.
Uh-huh.
But want to just send shouts out to Chardot up there in New York. That our Kevin Jenkins. Sister Tasha out there in Alabama. Sister Sharon down there, and Sharon Tasha Shabala. I think I'm saying that right.
No, butchering it.
Butchering it to death. Also G. Montgomery, bro, over there in Virginia. Joshua Foxworth out there. My little sister Anna Elder. Also Brother Dabriam out of New York. Sister Maggie. Brother Nehemiah out there in Tulsa. I got your letter, bro. Went through it. We'll rap about it. Brother Ron and Betty and Sister Betty Lemons, Brother Ed Spratley out there in Virginia.
Yes.
Brother Kevin Jenkins down there in Florida. My Aunt Leonard, Pops of Base Jerusalem. Sister Tasha Robinson, Ark Lloyd. Sister Tanya here at STL and that Ark DH. Y'all, appreciate what y'all do for the ministry, y'all, and y'all continue to help us out. Sister Saniqua out there in the PA area with Sister Rhea. Thank y'all very much, y'all, for assisting us, y'all. We make a vow, y'all, to continue to get these lessons through if the Most High say so. So, y'all, we were not here in class last week due to weather, but that shouldn't have prevented us from bringing forth a lesson. So, Two Buys got some things in order. So, if this ever situation was to happen again concerning weather, we got the system set up now where we'll live stream from each one of individual of our homes, and we're talking about just the readers themselves so that we don't miss y'all, because, you know, we know when you're looking for the truth of the word, you know, those weeks get long, you wait in between. That's why we try to ask questions and take questions. If y'all have them, put them out there on God's Warrior 298. Holler at us on the radio show, you got any questions, you know. Mr. Hebrew 1.live, y'all, the radio show. Put it out there, y'all, because we don't know unless you ask.
That's right.
So with that, since we're asking, do anybody got any questions out there before we get on our lesson? Continue on the understanding of the Melchizedek priesthood, y'all. We're going to do action of the apostles. And when we're talking about, we're dealing with the disciples that had a spiritual intervention with the Most High that elevated them to apostle status. So we're just going to see their walk as they move through cities and counties, spreading forth the good news to the Jew first and then to who?
Gentiles.
Yes, sir. So we got a question out there, bro?
I got a question like a day or two ago whenever that was reserved for this particular day. And it says, it's from Genesis, Miss Pacha, and it says, let me post it real fast so everybody can see it. It says, I have a quick question. When people use Galatians 2 to say Gentiles can teach us and back it up with Acts 2, how are they coming up with that?
Well, I've never read in Genesis, Galatians 2 where it say Gentiles can teach. What I say that's at? So first thing we have to make sure that's correct. Will you finish with the full question?
No, that was actually a little bit more.
Okay.
They say also, if Gentiles can stand up and teach the scriptures in front of us, then should not also women be able to do so as well?
If that was the case.
If that was the case, but what we first need to do is where in Galatians 2 does it say that?
We need to go there.
You know, see where, because we're going to hit who has authority. Now understand this, they have to teach their people the way of the Lord. They have to teach them just like Cornelius when he came. His whole household was taught by Cornelius. But Peter had to come to give the instructions. Give the instructions in how, in order to teach his own household. But if you've seen anywhere in these Galatians that where it says one of another nation can sit in front of the house of Israel and teach him the commandments, y'all, we have to understand, y'all, we have to give Most High glory to what it is, because what he's putting in these heathens' hands is print presses. We ain't got none. You seen the Hebrew print press yet? No. Who produce books? Even these ones who call themselves writing their own books have to send it out to a publishing company that's Edomite. I ain't seen no Judah ben Israel printing shop and company mass producing your work for the low. Have y'all seen?
No, it ain't happening. Not in this world.
But where you, everything you going, you're tributary in this nation. Yes. Whoever face on the money, run it. Yeah. Let's not get that twisted. What kind of games we playing here?
You sitting around with a pocket full of Rufus books.
Boy, look here. You got a pocket full of James Brown arrest photo on a 50? Where you gonna spend that at? Where?
You going to jail.
That's where you going. But where in the Galatians, you know, do we need to see that?
Yeah. What?
Galatians 2, but they didn't specify particular individuals not in the chat.
Well, y'all, we don't do their homework for them.
Right.
But we don't see that in Galatians 2.
It's not in there.
What we see is, Shalom, John.
Shalom,
you compel what Paul was screaming on Peter about was, you know, you telling the Gentiles how they got to act, but you ain't acting how you say Israel's supposed to act.
That's right.
That didn't have nothing to do with them teaching. You ain't never read the Gentiles, and that's what we're getting into today. So we're going to answer it today. Anyway, because we getting right into some Acts 15 chapter. And we're going to get right into those questions concerning. And then we're going to read all of, because we got Galatians. Look at that, boy. Look what's on the list. Y'all see what's on the list? What that say? Galatians 2 all. We finna go through it anyway. It's on the list.
That's the Ruach.
Yeah, I could have saved a little breath thing, couldn't I?
Yeah.
We got any more questions out there? Anybody? Whatever on your heart, mind, or soul, y'all. Ask the questions, y'all. This is Bible study. You get to ask questions here. We just do things decently and in order. Raise your hand. Ain't gonna be no talking over the top. And we're gonna explain everything according to the rules of the Bible. We ain't gonna one line. We're gonna put you on the path to understanding so you can teach somebody else. Because if you can't keep it unless you give it away.
That's right.
So y'all need to understand what it truly means to study to show thyself approved
To the Most High.
to the Most High. You got to convince the Most High. You can't worry about us.
Right.
Oh, we got to convince the Most High that we are delivering the product of the gospel like we should be.
Exactly.
Not putting it in a napkin.
Ain't telling nobody, well, you got to watch out for that over there, or watch out for that over here, and then follow everybody else's rules. But the same man is printing the same other rules you follow.
That's right.
It's the same man. What do you mean tampered with?
Just like people talk about you following God's laws. Well, you obey the laws of the land.
Yeah, you do.
But those laws are based off those 613 that the Most High did.
Exactly.
Can you kill?
Yeah.
Can you steal? No. Those are the laws of the land. Still apply.
Yeah, man.
You said you was going.
Yeah, but that's what I'm. Cause I've been out for it's been 3 weeks. This is almost a month. But
It's 3 weeks.
it's almost.
Don't call it.
It's close enough to it. I miss y'all, and we're gonna cut to the chase. But I mean, it's like I said, I called into the radio show the other day on Testimonial Tuesdays to just kind of share some thoughts of mine, because I had a lot of time to think about situations, and I was thinking about our own mortality. And
Right.
I've spoken on that because no man know the time or day. You don't know when you're going to get up out of here. And one of my brothers had said something to me a few years ago. We were talking about that, and he said, man, my uncle died getting dressed to go to work. So his uncle didn't wake up that morning thinking he was going to be gone. He was going on with his regular business, but he didn't make it. And that's why I was thinking, when I got that COVID thing, man, it was those different strains. And the first one was the one that was putting you on ventilators. The second one, that was one taking you out. And then the third one was the one that I got, that Omicron or Orion or whatever it was. But it was so contagious that all these people have been getting it, but, it still has the ability to kill you. And I prayed and everybody was praying for me, and Emar Bar brought some food over, and I was finally able to eat and got a whole lot better real quick. But it made me think about that death, because as that was going on, one of our brothers had fallen with that COVID, man, and it took him within a week, and I wasn't able to make his service, and that was our brother Yalil. And just in the time then, our other brother, well, me and Zed's friend from drum corps, Buki, he done gave up the ghost, and I wasn't able to make it to him, but
I know that's 2 cousins since Bookie.
right, and driving home from work Thursday, I drove up on the scene where it was a body in the grass at a house that I was familiar with over by my house, which is a partner of mine. It was the elder brother's daughter. She was 41 years old, come to find out. And that's why we go back to that Matthew 24:12, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And we shouldn't let situations make us angry to the point that we want to take somebody else's life, because that is somebody else's loved one. And who are we to be the judge and jury and call a death sentence? Same situation I was going through with old boy, but now this situation, This was this man's daughter. She's 41. She was on the front arguing with her cousin. And her son is in the house, 18-year-old son, her daddy, her mama. But they hear a bang. And the son run out the door and see his mama laying in the grass.
That's terrible.
She shot in the back of the head. You dig? It's going down.
Back of the head.
And now the story has gotten so convoluted that, you know, the cousin say it was a accident, something happened and she did it, but it's a whole lot of mess. But then for the son to come out and have to see it, and then the daddy came out and that's his daughter, and then his soul day was yesterday. But you can't ever get over the fact that your daughter laid in your front yard and died. They've been there forever. What, do you leave the house now because you can't take it? No, you just pray to the Most High to give you strength to get through these things, because death happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And regardless to who you are, they might say, I love you. You'll soon be forgotten because life goes on. You know, I've seen it so many different times. My father-in-law, very much loved man. I mean, greatest guy I've ever met. But then he gave up the ghost, and they remembered him like for 2 or 3 years, then it fell off. So just like I was saying on the radio show, man, we gotta be the best us's that we can be.
Yeah.
Be that, because the body is made up of many members, and each member has their own part. This is my part. I look forward to coming in here and reading and giving you that Psalms with my whole self. Because somebody else will do it if I'm not here.
Yeah.
But it's not me. And y'all will remember me once I'm gone, but you know, don't celebrate me. We celebrate our patriarchs and we read about them and use them as our instructions through life. But we just mortal men, sinners, man, and we got to do what we can do right now to please our Father, which is in heaven. And part of that is loving him and knowing that to get to him, we got to go through his son. And then we got these other people with these ideas and doctrines of men, and they convoluting the whole situation. But then I did hear the one guy say, well, I'm not a teacher. Or he said, I'm not a leader, so they don't have to follow me. So, and if you do, you're a fool for following the guy that's telling you don't follow me, but I'm going this way. You know, because the road to righteousness is a narrow road. You got to stay focused on that and try your best to get to the kingdom. Don't just try Monday through Thursday or on the Shabbat. It's a lifestyle. You understand? And then there's another brother out there, the one talking about meat. The Bible say you can't eat that, and now you're talking about you ain't supposed to circumcise.
Oh, well.
And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. See, now all these cats changed up. But don't follow man, follow God.
That's right.
And you got to follow him by going through his son. So if any part of this book is wrong, y'all put it down and leave it alone. But let us who love this continue to love it in peace and just with our whole heart, I'll say. Because that's what it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
And that's basically
it.
it.
Sitting on the table.
And that's our Ariel's 2 minutes.
Absolutely. You can't talk this and talking like you got the big joker.
Right.
You know, and you playing spades and you play it early in the hand and then you ain't got nothing left.
Right.
You know, no, you done played your hand, y'all. Y'all, we ain't got to belabor this or beat this up. Y'all, this coming down to 1 or 2 things about belief, and it's about this priesthood. This priesthood we keep telling you about, Melchizedek, even the non-messianics still don't understand the priesthood. They don't have no clue when they're talking about Abraham what the priesthood is, because they're covenant breakers. Abraham didn't talk about something that was just going to happen. He's talking about the end of time. If you're a non-messianic, all we want to know, what's the end game? Mm-hmm. If Messiah don't come back, how do we deliver? Because he just read the Psalm, the Father dwells in the heaven. When you read 1 Kings 8th chapter, Solomon, who built the temple for the Most High, say, you don't dwell here with temples made with man's hands.
That's right.
This house can't contain you. The heavens can't contain you. What am I going to do about this house? So even Solomon had the wisdom to know the Father don't get off his throne. Y'all think that's the Father that come down there to handle minuscule issues?
Right.
He's got servants for that. What do you think the 24 elders that sit around the throne that say, holy, holy, holy all day, what the Father gonna tell them? Holy, holy, y'all hold that voice, holy right there in midstream, right there, hold that one holy, right there, I'll be back. I gotta go take care of some work on earth. Are you serious? What would he need Moses for to lead us out? He would do it.
Right.
What would he need Joshua for? He would just say, I'm sick of this. It's a waste of time. I'll do it. I'll take care of it right now. I'm sick of y'all. But there's always an intercessor. Kings of this earth don't go out to battle and the king out there scrapping. They send their servants out. They call the hit down. Yeah, go do the hit. But they sit back and watch and it be reported back to them. The hit was successful. You don't take the Son to the right hand of the Father because you don't believe it, don't make it not the truth.
Right.
You still got to deal with Daniel 7 chapter. You still got to deal with Micah 5. And then the misunderstanding of that psalmist that wrote Psalm 110. That was a different psalmist. That wasn't David. He was talking about David. So when do David move to the right hand of the Father?
Right.
And when do he put down or start to exemplify the order of Melchizedek? When in David's history did he put it down? Other than foreshadowing it. Because Levi was running it. Didn't he go to Levi to eat the showbread, or did he go tell Levi, Melchizedek, David in time?
Right. Let me get that bread.
If that 110 was about him, let me get that bread. Y'all losing y'all mind. The priest gave the instruction. Have y'all been with women the last 3 days? I can guarantee you we ain't been. Okay, then it's according to Levitical law under the high priest of Aaron that you get to eat this showbread now. Well, what are you talking about? So if it was somebody talking about David, when is David going to do it unless you're talking about David being resurrected and coming to the order of Melchizedek? That he ain't never got no instructions for or learned. Some of this stuff is child's play, y'all, but we ain't got to belittle it. Shalom, y'all. We're going to get right to the matter and let the script handle its own business. Go ahead, bro.
Well, you want to check out a question. He wants to know what are the wheels and reins in Ezekiel chapter 1, verses 15 through 21?
It's called an IFO, an identifiable flying object of the Most High. It's called a chariot. Plain and simple. Go ahead, Elisha.
Fiery chariot.
A fiery chariot that took Enoch, that when we read Acts 1, that it came and got the Messiah. It's who he'll be coming back with. It's his fiery chariot. It's called the horsemen of the Lord.
And then those creatures that's driving it are just like what Hollywood wants you to believe is aliens. So they want you to be fearful of them and run away.
Right.
So always remember that Hollywood is the representation of Satan, the imitator and the accuser, to keep you away from the truth.
That's right.
So he'll give you a little bit of truth, but he'll put it in a negative light so that you don't trust in that light.
Right. And see, everything you're seeing, the UFOs you're seeing now are technically made by the USA. Hold on, I'm getting right to you, bro. And what I want to explain to y'all is this, is because they're practicing reverse technology and engineering. Ain't no UFO crash, they're crash proof. The Most High ain't designed his chariots to crash. No, why? Because angels can't die. If angels can die, what's been keeping Satan alive? It's the same Satan that was in the garden, wasn't it? Is it the same one that got kicked out of heaven? What's keeping him alive, and why haven't he been thrown in the lake of fire yet? And how does he get around? How does he drive? So y'all, some of these things are common sense, but we get sidetracked because the government got us looking at something. And they, not on this, but they say they got bodies of aliens. How you got the flesh of a supernatural being? Where?
And what do you have to contain it in?
Yeah.
And restrain it?
A supernatural being? No, you ain't got no supernatural being laying on a slab and you working on it. You trying to learn this technology, but you got it on a slab. Don't it go the other way around? Man. Look here, man. Y'all, it's crazy talk. Y'all, and that's why they always blurry. Now, we got Google Earth. You can see a license plate on the car. And every UFO is blurry, and every picture of Bigfoot is blurry. What's wrong with this picture? You ain't got no clear pictures of UFOs. They always blur it out. They want it to be so you can't point to it when they release it on the public.
Right. And you see that China then created a false moon and sun.
Yeah. So y'all, they're getting ready for the Antichrist, y'all. And this is what we're talking about. If you don't believe in the Messiah, if you believe the Father gonna get off his throne or he gonna send his angels to come with him to do it, you ain't read that nowhere. We continually to read he sits on his throne and give orders. What he gonna create it for, Elijah, to do the work himself? And you got servants.
And if Yeshua don't exist, who are the three that bear record in heaven?
Look.
Well, they don't believe that.
Well, they still got a problem with let us make man.
There you go.
But see, this is the problem. They don't believe any of it. You can't
Never
believe
had.
a portion
Come on,
of it. They never believed any of it. There's absolutely no faith.
Yeah.
Now, what they do is come into this walk to gather enough information to deceive many, the multitude, for their own profit and
opportunities.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
That's all it's about.
What you call them, Daniel? Hustlers?
Opportunities, hustlers.
That's what they are, hustlers.
You can't sit in front of no camera talking about you don't want to be no, what do you say?
Leader.
Yeah, leader.
Look, all that's man talk.
People gonna listen to you if you're in front of the camera.
It's Hebrew Christianity. That's all it is, Hebrew Christianity, y'all. And what I mean by that, they'll point the finger at us like we're worshiping white Jesus. We ain't never taught this. There's nothing about what took place at the Council of Nicaea written in these pages. There's nothing in Sunday doctrine that's written in here that follow what they do. They may have it, but what we're talking about is, do you follow it? Just like the knuckleheads that have it and they don't follow it.
Right.
How you talking about the New Testament? You still got it under your arm. You walking with it.
Right.
That's like a knockoff purse, ain't it? Some fake Stacey Adams.
Right.
Boy, look here.
They call Sam Adams.
Yo, it don't make sense for you to still have it. Rip it in half. They sell Tanakh.
Right.
With just the Old Testament. Or tear it off. But how you gonna walk around with something that you're proving righteousness, and then it shifts from that until idol worship? They say you're worshiping idol Jesus. He don't exist. He don't exist. Well, tear it out of the book so we won't have to discuss it, because he's in the volume of the book. We still gonna run them Genesis to Malachi. We're gonna run the Messiah from Genesis to Malachi. You ain't got nobody else. Y'all done already tried Hezekiah. You done already tried King Solomon. You had already tried Zerubbabel, and none of them fit the slot because they sinners and they can't fit Isaiah 53. You still got to deal with Isaiah 53. Well, we, us, him, our, bruised for our transgression. If it ain't no intercessor, you think the Father just taking a whooping? Let me go down there and crawl on that cross and let him whoop my rear end, my creation. I'm going to let them do me like a dog. And then I'm going to go back on my throne. Who watching the throne? Satan still could come to the throne. Ain't you read Job 1 and 2? Right. Who come amongst the angels? Who was with him? Satan was with him. What are you talking about?
I say he walked to and fro and up and down.
Right.
If he's in the grave for 3 days, y'all, we should have had hell on earth. Shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Foolish talk, Tom, foolish.
But that's Isaiah's son in there. When Isaiah's son was the governor of anything? Right. When was Isaiah's son called the holy father? When? Since when? You ever read Isaiah's son? The great counselor is Isaiah's son.
Yeah, but you know what, man? My thing is
the volume of the book is written of him, y'all. You can get rid of the Old Testament. We still got it. Go ahead.
I've given this tomfoolery enough of my energy.
Yeah.
You did, because it don't affect my life one iota. So the Most High don't need that nigga. He need the Most High.
Look here.
You understand? So I mean, all them that want to turn from the faith and do your thing and
you still ain't got no end game, bro.
There you go.
Because you're waiting on somebody. You're waiting on the Most High to move. And in the meantime, this man's face is still on the dollar, and he's sitting on nuclear warheads. So what you got for yourself unless the Messiah? If the Messiah don't come back, we still ain't lost.
Right.
But if he do come back, whoa, John 3, it's some trouble.
Right.
That's why you don't want to get rid of the Old Testament and just hang on to it. You want to hang on to it like, give me the food stamp card.
Yeah.
Want to hang on to it.
I'm gonna just put it in this.
Shit. Food stamp card don't belong to you. How you gonna talk about the government and got the card in your pocket? It's the same way you're gonna talk about the New Testament and still got it up under your arms.
Right.
They ain't show pictures of Jesus and white Jesus like you think that's what we talking about when we say his name. Y'all linguistics expert, when you go back, it's gonna go back to salvation. When you get through talking, you know it.
No
All the most sovereignty Negroes
right.
No picture of
and
salvation.
anti-government Negroes had their hands out for that PPP law.
Boy, look here.
Oh, yeah.
Negroes got their hands out for the EBT card.
Right here.
Negroes got their hands out for everything the free that the government said they'll give you. But you sovereignty.
Look at this. Talking about we pulling a move.
Anti-government.
Look,
Nigga, please.
we pulling a move, and all you got is a $200 food stamp card, and you pulling moves on the government. You kidding me? Boy, look here.
They out there.
See, we gonna get 3 or 4 our women to get on welfare, and then we gonna beat the system. No, all you doing is hustling backwards.
Yeah.
That means somebody before the month end, y'all gonna be splitting a Happy Meal. Somebody is. Because the money gonna run out.
They don't give you enough to last.
Right.
See what happens when this cashless society kick in
Yeah.
full
That's
throttle.
when the
We're
truth
gonna
comes
see
out.
about all this polygamy, marriages and households. We're gonna see if they can stand in the midst of that tribulation.
Because you still gotta have an end game.
There's
Like,
all them EBT cards going out the window. Who's working? Who's working?
yo, that's just some lazy bone talk. If you were standing on it, you wouldn't have a New Testament nowhere in your vicinity. The smell of it wouldn't be around you.
Right.
But you're scared and you're peeping in it. And y'all, if we let them talk about it and you still see they holding on to the New Testament and you get into any discussion with them and don't tell them, move that New Testament out of the way, we're going to deal with you only with the Old Testament. Because you can't get into that war. They just going to say it ain't no good.
Right.
The problem is how you letting them show you one and they still got it in their possession.
Right.
Ain't no end game with a non-messianic. Who they waiting for but the Antichrist? That's all you waiting on, some king that's come to Jerusalem. It ain't written that the Most High gonna come back before that. Even in the Old Testament. When you read Joel 3rd chapter, that's after Daniel. That's after all the prophecy. You get rid of Revelation, it don't mean nothing. You still got to deal with the end of time. You still got to deal with Isaiah 65. Amos, you still got to deal with them, so your end game is a mute point.
That's right.
All you're going to do is bounce around from camp to camp, belief. It's just an opportunist.
Because what did the prophets prophesy of? They weren't prophesying about what was going on at the particular time that they were in their existence. They were talking about the times to come after they are dead. Prepare you either way. Get yourselves together.
Man, what's this class, man? What we doing?
Actions of the Apostles, y'all. We're gonna get it going. Y'all know how we do it. You sure? Oh, well, I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. Speak your piece. Go ahead.
All right, the first one, I wanted you to say what you said about Hollywood again, because I didn't catch. I caught what you said about Hollywood when you was talking about Satan and Hollywood.
Well, what Hollywood does, Hollywood is a representation of Satan's whole game.
Yeah.
So what Hollywood does is present Satan's message through video, through media. So he will give you bits and pieces of truth, but he'll put it in a negative light.
Yes, sir.
So that you fear that righteous information and turn towards the unrighteous information. So he'll show you like what's the one with Will Smith?
Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
See, all that imagery came from this book.
Yeah.
He's coming in the clouds and he'd be seen from the four corners of the earth. Remember how that UFO, that chariot came through the smoke and there was a fire enfolding itself like Ezekiel chapter 1.
Yeah. Just like
And a wheel and all
14,
that.
yeah.
They got all that information out of here.
Yeah.
They're presented to you. However, then they'll show you the aliens like in Ezekiel 1, but then they show you Will Smith killing the alien and dragging them to the government.
Yeah.
So basically, the angel that's representing the angel. Yeah.
In the book of Ezekiel, he talks about these creatures that drive the chariots of the Most High.
Yeah.
And when you see the description of these, you would visually think of an alien because of the imagery that he presents. However, Hollywood will make you wants you to fear that image.
Like they do the rainbow.
Like the rainbow. The homosexuals have taken that symbol of the Most High's covenant to mankind and use it and pervert it for their own cause.
Yeah.
That's Satan. He wants you to believe that this is an unrighteous symbol.
Yeah.
Well, that's a symbol that the Most High presented to all mankind, that he would not wipe mankind off the earth
That's right.
again. So when you see this, you know that he exists, his word exists, it's bond.
Yeah.
It's like that movie, The Legion. They teach you that you can fight against the second coming and win. You can prevent it.
So this is they TV.
It's the teller of vision.
It's programming.
Yeah.
Mental programming.
And that's cold because how they do it, they fill these kids up with this stuff.
Yes. If you want to get the cartoon, if you want to get the adults, if you want to get the adults, they attack the child.
Yeah.
Because in your mind, you're trying to protect your child. Their whole thing is to get them, because whatever they want, you're going to do for the cause of the baby.
Yeah.
So if the baby said, "Daddy, I want this. I want unrighteousness."
Yeah.
Well, baby,
Now, if you get straight A's, you get some
you'll
unrighteous.
get some unrighteous. I'll reward you with unrighteous.
Do it make sense?
No, it don't make
No,
sense.
it don't make sense.
Idols and stuff like that.
Go ahead, sis. What you got back
I'd
there?
like to share something about Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
You watch television because the lies are programmed through the television.
Yep.
Hollywood, the devil, the people that are acting, they're perpetrating somebody that they're not. Like the devil walks around as a roaring lion. He's not red and scary.
Right.
He's the most beautiful creature.
That's right.
But the point is, the people that are infiltrated, the producers give the writers the script to give to the actors, faking, and the more they fake out somebody that they're not. I used to love Denzel Washington. I used to love the actors portraying somebody that they were not. That Denzel Washington portrayed his gangster soul, that even the gangster wanted to commend me. Tell me, I don't need you to commend me. The love of money being the root to all evil, but the more they infiltrate faking somebody that
Illusions.
they're not. And when they're off stage and somebody comes and wants an autograph and they don't want to be live, but the love of money is what got them where they can't even enjoy a sandwich in public for an autograph.
Right.
The point is, the more they infiltrate being a fake actor or actress, they get an idol called a statue, called an Oscar award, and they acknowledge it as God for the love of money being the root to all evil. And Hollywood, that, you know what the name of the wood was that Harry Potter.
Yep, that's his wand. Yep, his wand was made.
The magic wand.
Right.
Cast the spell on people. You know what the name of the wood was called?
From the holly tree. Yeah, from the holly
Holly
tree.
tree.
Right,
And
and
that's
that's
all
how
it
And
is.
if you see, they have it implanted on the highest hill in California.
Yes.
Right.
So that all can see it when you come into the Tinseltown. The house is the place of illusions.
Yeah, that's like the
Make
city.
believe.
The
Yeah.
city of Los Angeles is Lost Angels.
Angels.
Even the walls and stuff where they be acting at, they're not even real walls. You looking at the surrounding and all of that stuff is cardboard. It's not even real.
It's
but
they call them green rooms.
it's programmed into through your television. The children get excited about all this, and the enemy infiltrates that negativity in the children, and then you wonder why the children like acting like little heathens. Even Channel 9, the little colored
Some of them
creatures,
cartoons wicked.
they're people behind them.
Most of them got some kind of-
Well, y'all, and this is what we got to understand too. It's who's running the house.
Right.
Until you get your face on the money, you tributary. So, and understand Satan's game plan, y'all. Y'all got to understand, yeah, TV does some dirt, but it's based off of you not knowing this living word. Right. It's the only way they can get it over. When they show you Lucifer, and they show you how he's set up to show Lucifer, and they explain what he does it exactly like who he is. He never makes you do anything.
Right.
He just asks you what you desire on the show. The problem is, how are the writers writing it? Are they writing it from the Bible about them, or are they writing it from the Talmud? It's on you, if you're going to watch TV and watch that show, to know the trickery of which Lucifer they bringing forth. They bringing forth the one from the Talmud that's worthy to be worshipped because it's Freemasonry. Right. So the show makes him a good guy now. Do you know he working with the police?
Right.
So by you seeing Lucifer like this and you don't understand when you watch TV, you're missing the point because he's not going to force you to sin. You have to sin on your own.
Right.
He's the accuser, bro. Look, every dope movie, don't he show you them ending up in the penitentiary or getting shot?
Yep.
Why do we still sell dope? Didn't he show it to us?
All of
What happened with Superfly? Didn't he show it to us?
Everybody meets the same end.
They show it to you up front.
But they also show you how it's always a free will.
Yeah.
The guy who becomes the main character is always presented with a choice first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want this or do you want that? Just like the Matrix, the red pill or the blue pill.
Which one you want?
Which one you want?
But the devil don't make you do nothing.
Don't make you do nothing. He presents truth, a
Long
little
message.
bit of truth, and say, you choose.
Right.
What do you like?
What do you like? That's all he asked Eve. Look, first thing he asked her was, what did God tell you? She run the list, didn't she?
Yes.
He told me I can't do this. He just say, no, all that may be true, but what he really don't want you to know is that you can live forever. You are God too. And she said, tell me more.
You will see other things that he don't want you to see.
Right. Tell me more. Tell me more.
I'm going to show you the galaxy.
I'm going to show you
I'm going to show you the stars.
Yeah.
Do you know about those? Have you ever put on makeup? Oh, I'm going to show you how to beautify yourself.
Yes, sir.
It show you how to get in
Yes,
character.
sir. That's what he don't
I'm
want
going to show you how
get
to have your
character.
man infatuated with your look. All those things. So
Yeah.
he taught her, and she's like, ooh, I'm wise. I have more knowledge than was given to me of the Most High.
Yeah.
My knowledge has been extended now.
Right.
And if you notice, anyone who dabbles into the unknown always presents themselves as Lord over you.
Right.
Because they now have extended their knowledge beyond yours.
Right. And
So now they exercise lordship over you.
Yeah.
Because you haven't peeped into the unseen like they have. So now I'm going to show you something. I have more to show you.
And what we want to see anywhere in this Bible from Genesis to Revelation that Satan never made anybody do anything. I command you to break God's law. It ain't written in this Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Ain't nobody in there. When he conned David to number Israel, he didn't force David's hand. He showed armies to David and showed them their numbers battling array. David didn't have to worry about that because he's got angels as a back. Innumerable angels, so you can't count them. What is you so concerned with him showing you the number of this army with 200,000? That caused David to yield. He didn't make David do that. No. Satan don't make you do anything. You cannot accuse him of that at all, or you're tail bearing.
The devil made me do it. No, the devil ain't made you.
The devil checks and see how well you love God because he knows the scriptures backwards and forward. Mm-hmm. Remember what his position was. He covered the Ark of the Covenant. That's right. He had his hands over the mercy seat like this. He knows what's going on. He knows those laws, statutes, and judgments. That's why he come with it first, Elijah. Right. What God tell you, that's what he asked up front.
He just want to know, how far are you in this walk? Do you believe or don't you believe? Right. Because it all comes down with, do you believe or don't you believe?
That's what we get down to. Right?
That's what he asked Eve. Do you believe that? I'm going to show you something else to ponder.
Yeah.
A little bit of doubt.
Yeah.
Destroys it all. A little bit of leavening the whole lump.
That's right.
If the Most High said, if you have the faith of the mustard seed is the smallest seed on earth.
That's right.
But it yields the greatest fruit. If you have the smallest amount of faith, you can move mountains.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you have the smallest amount of doubt, you will lose.
You gonna be condemned.
Yeah, you'll be.
It happens on. It's the same on both sides.
You'll be convinced to
A
follow
little
anything.
bit either leavens or it exalts you to a whole nother status of life.
Yeah.
It can do either or.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more
Go ahead,
bro.
Why can't Gentiles teach Israelites?
Because there's a natural order to the Most High.
That's right.
There's a natural order to his creation. The Most High is in charge. Then his son, Christ. Then man.
Right.
Then woman.
Right.
Then child.
Right.
Well, according to his word, the word was given unto Israel.
Right.
To teach the Gentiles, all the other nations on the earth, how to live godly and to come into salvation.
That's right.
Now, the other nations may not be in the kingdom per se, but there's a court of the Gentiles.
Yeah.
That's right.
They will live. Salvation is life eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some Israelites will tell you, well, they ain't in the kingdom, they ain't got salvation. Life over eternal damnation is salvation.
Yeah. No matter
how you cut it. That's salvation. Now, whether they're going to be servants in the kingdom, that's a righteous servitude.
That's right.
They would never be sick. They would never hunger.
No.
As long as they come to the edge of their borders, like Zechariah 14, and give the feast of dedication to the King of all kings,
Yeah.
they will get rain in their due season.
Yeah.
They will be fed. If one family come not up, that nation will not get rain in the due season. Therefore, there will be a famine of that nation.
Mm-hmm.
They will die off. Satan will be loosed after 1,000 years to try to overthrow the other nations. But it's only through their knowledge and understanding of the Most High and his holy laws and statutes and judgments. Isaiah chapter 2 says, after then, the nations will come together and say, let's go up to the house of the Most High and learn his laws.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Now, Paul became an ambassador to the Gentiles because Israel wanted to kill him for preaching the word of Christ. It also was the same with Jeremiah. Okay? So the law was given unto Israel to teach the other nations how to live godly. That's why he says you shall be a light unto the Gentiles.
Yeah.
They're going to learn the righteousness from you.
Right.
That's why Cornelius had to go to Peter to learn to get the proper understanding of what the angel had disclosed to him. He didn't know. He didn't understand. It was taught to him in a parable. So he had to go to an Israelite to get a full understanding of the instructions of the Most High God. Because that's the natural order of teaching. Yeah. That's the natural order of deliverance of the righteousness of the message of the Most High unto mankind. The Most High, Christ, man, woman, child.
Yeah.
Israel, Gentile.
Yeah.
Jew, Gentile. Free, bond, male, female.
Yeah.
All right?
That ain't hard, is it, Elijah? What we got? Because we got to get rolling on the plan. Go ahead.
Elijah was saying, Romans chapter 3 and verse 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
What advantage did have the Jew?
Yeah.
Or what profit there is thereof of circumcision? Much every way cheaply, because unto them were committed the oracles of God.
And you read that in Psalm 147, 19 and 20. Yes. You read that in Deuteronomy 7. Because, y'all, you have to understand this. Go ahead, bro.
Romans 9 and 4.
Yes,
sir. Poor Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption,
right,
and the glory, and the covenant, and the giving of the law,
and the what?
And the giving of the law, and the service of God, and the promise.
See,
Joel 2 and that Psalms 147.
Yes, sir.
1920.
See, and because what that does is just instructing you that if you don't know what your role is in this, you're going to lose out. If you don't know who you are, you're going to be told who they want you to be.
Right.
If you don't know who you are, you're going to be told who they want you to be. And that's a problem for you with this word, because now you're working backwards. See, it ain't got nothing to do with the book. The book is keeping the word just like it said. It ain't never said nobody else can get this but Israel. It ain't never said that. These are men making those statements. This book ain't never said it, have it like. Not one time you can find it where it says no other nation will be involved with God's plan. Do you know what Judah and Benjamin did? Have you ever read the book of Hosea and Ezekiel 16 and you talking to Israel like this? What no other nation told to get out the Most High's face? What other nation he put in ships and sent to another nation? What other nation?
None.
But he told us, get going.
Get going.
Kick rocks. Yeah. Well, actually, we got on ships, but.
Well, yeah, but how you gonna go? It's like Moses going to Pharaoh to tell him to let my people go, and he ain't circumcised Gershom. The Most High sent an angel, go kill Moses. Did the Most High come down here, or was that an angel?
He sent somebody.
Now look, this is the crazy part. Now they'll believe that an angel came down here for that and this and that. But when you ask the critical points, and they still running that same Isaiah 42 and 8, I share my glory. Nobody. Well, what you gonna do about verse 1 through 8 of that same 42nd chapter? If you one-line me, then it looks like that. But you got to deal with verse 1 through 8. Behold, my elect, my servant. That's what he's saying. When you get to verse 8, that's what he's saying. I'm not going to give my glory to another. Verse 1 is who I'm giving it to. Not, I'm alone. Read verse 1 through 8. Don't get one line.
Right.
And y'all, these are lazy Israelites. When you read about slothful in this Bible, it's talking about slothful in studying to show thyself approved.
Yes, sir.
And if you've been around us, you know we ain't talking about no white Jesus.
Oh, come on.
You know when we say Jesus, we done went through every concordance that we got on here, and we know where it traced back to. We know it don't trace back to son of Zeus. Thor was the son of Zeus. What are you talking about? Who y'all lying to? Just like you say, because we talk about the virgin birth, we speaking the Immaculate Conception. You ain't even did your homework enough to go see what the Immaculate Conception say. It says Mary's in charge. This book say, blessed be he. They said, blessed be the paps. He said, rather blessed be them that keep the word of God.
Yes, sir.
Who is my mother? Who is my brother?
Right.
Matthew chapter 12.
What are you talking about? That ain't in this book. What you're talking about, the Immaculate Conception, well, that's about Mary. That ain't got nothing to do with the virgin birth. And Christ in charge.
Gotta study. You gotta study.
This is a lack of study problem and don't know what the priesthood is. All them talking about, I don't believe in Messiah more. Who's the priest then?
Right.
Well, he should be without a king for many days. What the hell has that got to do with anything without a king? What you gonna do about your sin? Kings didn't sacrifice for you. When King Solomon or Hezekiah sacrificed for your sins. It's always been Levi right there. It's always been an intercessor for your transgression. Excuse me, boy. Get me hyped up here, boy. Yo, but this is what we talking about. Just the tomfoolery to make you think or discount the truth right here, and everything that runs on planet Earth runs off of this. Nobody got their own imagination. All we're asking for is one thing of their imagination that ever came true. This don't talk about Bigfoot. They ain't found him yet, have they?
Nah.
Yeah, they found him.
They said a missing link.
The old white man
right,
living in Colorado.
But they talking about a missing link, and they still got us out there waiting on science to explain it. They still talking about UFO or alien for nothing, but every picture is still blurry. But yet I can see your license plate and see every letter on it and the sticker numbers.
Right.
Yeah, because our brother who just did Fed Time, he brought me the satellite surveillance of his truck. I mean, they could crystal clear picture of his license plate, him talking to the guy that ratted him out, the whole not clear.
Yeah.
Like it was taken with an iPhone. This is a satellite photo. And
you can't get Bigfoot.
Man.
Look, every time he running, you just get a blurry picture of. See, because it's what they're talking about, what they call the missing link. We need to find a link between mankind and monkey. We need that missing part, what we're looking for. Don't y'all know, just like a tadpole turns into a frog, you can find a frog dead with part of the tadpole tail still where it didn't go all the way through. Right. I'm still looking for the half monkey man that didn't make it to a man all the way. Right. You got to have it somewhere.
So you're saying this a bunch of God.
It's evolution. See, it's the people that's starting to hate the Bible. Y'all, it ain't got nothing to do with what we believe. Y'all, they're starting to hate on the Most High. Once you go for the law, you are going after Judgment Day. These people are fearing it. That's why they saying, will you be without a king? They run them scriptures. You going to be judged. When you die, you are going to be judged. You can tear out the New Testament. You can stop Daniel. I only read past this chapter or only read up to the 79th Psalm. You can do whatever you want. But Judgment Day is coming and you Negroes know it. Yep. Ain't no need fooling nobody. You just like charge of individuals. And the opportunity, you just gather around anybody. We don't care because these rules go for everybody, y'all. Let me explain this to y'all. There's no respect of persons. None. If Farrakhan was sitting in here, Martin Luther King was sitting in here, if Gandhi was sitting in here, if what's the herb dude that died to pneumonia, Sebi was sitting in here, and we had this, everybody play by the same rules. That's right. Ain't no we give him 10 points because he's Farrakhan.
No, I ain't Farrakhan.
Well, look, but you know what I'm saying. Everybody, when you get your tests, it's like when you go take the SAT test. When they pass them tests out, everybody get the same test. Right. How you not gonna let nobody get on board playing dominoes with 5, and yet you think this is tampered with, and you still got both books in your hand? And you walking around. Let me show you where it's tampered with in the New Testament. If you let somebody do that, shame on you. Because the minute that open that up, rules have to be laid out. What's the rules of this? That's right. 2 witnesses painting the same subject matter. That's right. Not 2 words like tree, mean you gonna give me tree, he hung on a tree, and then go get me a Christmas tree. Them 2 different trees. Right. The hell are you talking about? One is a man. Talking about a man. What you doing with Ezekiel 31? The whole thing is comparing Pharaoh to trees. You're like the cedar tree. 2 different subject matters. Y'all, they are one line y'all to death, but we're going to get with this lesson because we're going to let the Bible speak for itself. That's right. Yep. And y'all, it ain't disturbing us that somebody fall off the wagon. They've been falling off for the last 30, 35 years. We've been around her.
In the latter days, many shall depart from
the faith. What he talking about, we heard 30 years ago. Look, Benjamin Carter.
Great falling away.
Benjamin Carter took him over to Dimona with this same doctrine. This individual just want to be able to hang out over there. Who got room and board for 2 days? Then go over here.
He looking to live as long as
then go over here. And then you go over here where you can't say, is this camp messianic only to the bone? No, we don't believe no New Testament. I was just checking me. I don't either. Opportunists. Wherever you go, if you've been around us and you believe this and you know messianic, shame on you, not on us. You living a double life and a lie. One of them is a lie. One, you're lying to us and making us think you messianic. The other lie is you're lying to yourself, but you ain't lying. We don't care about none of it because we don't have to live that life of a double life.
It ain't no sweat off us.
Ain't no sweat off you living 2 lives.
Yep. That's on you. You gonna have to give an account.
To be around us.
Every tub got to sit on
his own body.
We don't trip off the Hebrew music artists that profess something totally different, because when you come around us, you gon' do what we do.
That's right.
It's down with us. Now, if it's fake in your heart, that's on you. You gotta deal with that.
If somebody will let you sing your music around there, you can sing the Messiah don't exist music somewhere else, but you ain't gonna do it around here.
That's right.
And if you mad because you had to go against your grain and sing you love Yehoshua, and now you can't, you see, that's on you. That's your conscience beat up, not ours. You ain't making us mad.
No.
See, because we've been doing the same thing.
30 years, and we're going to keep it moving.
Let's read, y'all.
Most High will.
Acts 15 chapter.
Come back around again. Keep recycling. Let's go cycle right back around again. That same doctrine.
Let's get it, y'all. Acts 15 chapter. Y'all, we're going to get rolling, y'all. We're going to pick it up because we got a few things to cover. And it's going to cover both subjects that's out here, y'all. But we was warned, the Most High said, be ye not deceived. That means somebody is out to trick you.
Yep.
And if the manual you got is tricking you, that's like you just bought a new Ford and you got a Chevy manual in there and they tell you, be not deceived though, cause if something break down, I'm telling you something tampered with in your glove box. Oh, it's a Chevy manual in this Ford. They done tampered with my truck. Get out of here.
And you like it.
Boy, look here. You keep driving it.
Right. It is a truck.
It is up. Boy, look here.
Levi, it's on you, bro.
Go ahead.
Acts 15:1.
Let's get it, y'all. We got more questions out there too, but we good?
Yes, sir, we good.
All right, family.
Let's eat, y'all.
Going to Acts chapter 15, starting at verse 1.
Yeah.
And certain men, which came down from Judea, taught the brethren.
What they do?
Taught the brethren. And said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved.
So right here, is that the truth or is that a lie? Because it's only a half truth.
Right.
After the manner of Moses. See, the manner of Moses was to cut it off the flesh. The manner of Abraham's circumcision was to circumcise this.
That's right.
Because he was 99 before he got it.
And he believed before he was circumcised in the flesh.
Yes, sir.
He
Read
was
some more.
counted as the Most High's friend.
That's right.
Before the circumcision in the flesh.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question.
Now look here, it said, when therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension or disputation, then that was big dissension and stuff. So it was a squab, y'all, about the word of the Most High. Can circumcision grant salvation? Not by itself alone, not by the flesh alone.
Right.
This is all Paul is saying. Let's read some more.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And being brought on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles. And they caused great joy unto all the brethren. And when they were come to Jerusalem, they were received of the church and of the apostles and elders. And they declared all things that Yah had done with them.
So we're talking about the apostles, y'all. We're talking about the first in the administration of the church. If you don't even know the administration of what we're talking about, and we're in the New Testament, and you got them dictating to you Old Testament and under order, talking about captains of 50s and different things, you off point too. You don't know what you doing.
Right.
You behind a car and don't know how to drive.
Right.
That's like the Rockadoochies. You've been planning a getaway and don't know the car stick shift. The hell, and then when it's time to get away, you get no, didn't even get that. Didn't even man just stunned. Got sent to the punishment trail. Let's read some more, bro.
No. Yeah, verse 5.
Yeah.
But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses.
So, certain sect of the Pharisees, y'all. Y'all, these are ones that claim they believe in the law, but they just sit in Moses' seat. That's all. Moses didn't ever do what they promote right here. Because Moses was on the hit list by an angel.
Right.
For disobeying this very thing. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And the apostles and elders came together for to consider of this matter.
Give me real quick, somebody, 1 Corinthians 12 and 29. We need to run the assembly because most people don't understand what apostles are. They think it's like Christianity and church that, you know, based off of your income is where your title goes. Now, you a janitor, I'm sorry. You don't get to sit on the deacon board. It shouldn't be that way, you know what I'm saying? Because it comes down to knowledge. But real quick, what it say about the administration?
I got it.
Go ahead.
It says,
Start at verse 28, brother.
all right, 1 Corinthians 12:28. And Yah hath set some in the church, first apostles.
First who?
First apostles.
See, this is what we're reading about. We're talking about the acts of the apostles today. An apostle means one that has had an intervention with the Most High or Christ. Your name has been changed. You had a supernatural intervention, like all of the 12 disciples are now called 12 apostles. Paul was a disciple and became an apostle on the road to Damascus. His name was changed from what, Paul?
From Saul to Paul.
And we're going to get into Abraham, who was an apostle under the order of Melchizedek too, because his name and his wife's name was changed. Right. His name used to be Abram, and it was changed to what? Abraham. Sarah was Sarai, and became who? Sarah. They were apostles under the order of Melchizedek. But these Negroes got you around here thinking you're going to be a captain of 50. It ain't 50 in your class.
Right.
That means you gotta go get some work in.
Put some work in.
They just tell you a title, give you a football jersey and put captain of 50 on the back. There you go.
I can put my jerseys on and I can be captain.
And the Pharisees were warned by Messiah. They like to broaden their phylacteries. They like to sit in the chief seats and the greeting at the marketplace.
Yeah.
My leader. Pastor.
You got king.
Third in command of all. Shit.
King Vitamin and Captain
Oh,
Crunch.
boy, look here. King Vitamin and Captain Crunch, right here.
No doubt.
Let's get it, y'all.
Hey, finish reading it out, brother.
And Yah hath set some in the church.
Uh-huh.
First apostles.
First who?
First apostles.
Uh-huh.
Secondarily, prophets.
Then prophets, okay.
Thirdly, teachers.
Teachers. See, while apostle kind of elevates above a prophet is because a prophet is used to go warn the people. That's right. Tell them what God say. He necessarily don't come with supernatural powers. Apostles do. The disciples raised Tabitha from the dead.
Yeah, they can put
Paul raised her. They can lay hands on you and heal. You don't very rarely see a prophet doing that. So you see the order, and then who? What? Go ahead. What next order we in? That was secondarily
teachers. Secondarily, prophets. Thirdly, teachers.
Thirdly, teachers, y'all. So we fall into the teacher realm. We're not claiming to be apostles. We're not claiming to be prophets. Do we prophesy by teaching? Yes, because we reveal prophecy to the people. The good news, the gospel of Christ's second coming, given to him by his Father to rule planet Earth. And heaven, that's his reward. It was created for him and by him because he's the first creation of all creation. Still, you got to, if you don't believe that in Hebrews, you still got to tell us who the us is in Genesis.
Yeah. Who that is? Who that?
Or you don't know what the word Elohim means being plural.
Right.
It's not singular.
Right.
It's plural. Elohim means Godhead. There's gods around the throne, 24 elders. They're considered gods. Satan ain't died yet. What is he considered? He the God of this what? Of this world. He's still called what? God, ain't he? What's wrong with it? This ain't hard.
2 Corinthians chapter 4, he says the God of this world.
Right.
Shalom, Mark Steve.
Shalom, Mark.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at? You finished that?
After that,
After that, what?
After that, miracle. Then gifts of healing.
Then gifts of healing. Helps. Governments. That means you may be in a position like Daniel or Joseph in the government, able to where you can get proclamations and laws passed when we in captivity. This thing is already set up in case we find ourselves in any position. The Most High is looking out for us all the way around. In case we go to captivity, he's got governments. I'm going to get y'all in good with the government. Joseph was in good with Pharaoh. Yes, sir. Bad Negro, boy, look, they was cool with, they was in corporate.
They were
Babylon.
Governors.
But they were proven first before they were given those gifts of the Most High, the administration. What else is saying?
Diversities of tongues.
Diversity of tongues. Look, that's way down on the list. This really throw Pentecostal doctrine out the window created by Jack Parham.
But now, even with that, diversity of tongues means many different tongues, many different languages.
Yeah.
Not that vain babble that they do in them church houses.
Yeah.
That's not diversity of tongues.
No, that's just
diversity of foolishness.
Yeah. That's called stuttering.
Right.
It's stuttering. You're stuttering. It's Elmer Fuddism. But some of them cartoons a little bit older for some of them.
Right.
Go ahead, y'all. Where we at?
Or all apostles.
Or all apostles? No.
Or all prophets.
No.
Or all teachers.
No.
Or all workers of miracles.
No.
Have all the gifts of healing.
No.
Do all speak with tongues.
No.
Do all interpret.
No.
But covet earnestly the best gift.
See, now we got an issue here. Some say, see right there, Paul say covet. What does that last commandment on the wall say back there? Thou should not do what?
Covet.
Is he in violation, or does, when you break down covenant, say don't covet your neighbor's stuff? That's what the covenant is. It's another part to it. But you can covet righteousness. You can want it, but you can't want it because he has it.
Right.
You got to get your own.
Elisha coveted the blessings of Elijah. He wanted a double dose portion of that spirit that he had. But it was a righteous covenant.
That's right. And he told him what he had to do that made it different. He wanted a double up. He didn't want the single. So he was asking for more of what he had, not for what he had. I want more than you got. Well, this is what you got to do. If you be here when they take me, it's going to be granted to you. And it was. What else I say, bro?
But covet
earnestly
the best gifts.
Earnestly the what?
The best gifts. And yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
And the best gift, y'all, is 1 Corinthians 13. It's called charity.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Because if any gift you got, you doing it as a hustle game. If you healing and it's hustling. Because what we're waiting on is for the package of herbs that stops this COVID. Don't care nothing about losing no weight. We got a pandemic here. What you gonna mix together gonna stop this plague?
Plague.
That's what we talking about, ain't we?
A plague.
The other stuff here, we can do that ourselves.
Yep.
There's enough spices in cabinets right now that you ain't even looked at. You bought it, ain't you?
Right.
It just got an expiration date on it.
Right.
But what we're looking for is the stoppage of this plague that's killing everybody. If you can cure cancer, I know you can do COVID.
What you say?
If you can cure cancer, I know you can cure COVID. You should be able to, shouldn't you? You're talking about something that's eating the blood up that they give you a date when you're going to die. If you say you can cure that and you can't cure COVID and you don't, boy, look here. Who we playing with?
It ain't been that long enough.
Boy, look here. And then you hustle, and what we talk about a hustle, then you sell a crystal to stop the radiation that's coming off of this. But you still playing with it.
Right.
So that means you got to keep buying crystals. Don't y'all see the hustle and the opportunities, BS involved with it, and you still playing with it because you can't sell what you selling without this. You got to go across the wire in the internet.
Online purchases.
Cure the radiation.
Do something.
And they got microwaves.
Boy, look here. Boy, go on. Where we at, y'all? Let's finish this, y'all, because we behind. It's already in the 3 o'clock hour.
31 right there. That was the last.
Okay, y'all, so we got our administration under the order of Melchizedek. It comes with a name change, so we see everybody under the order of Melchizedek were apostles. You know the other apostles? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because all their names was changed. Jacob's name was changed to what? Israel. What we talking about here, bro?
You right?
Where we at? Back in what? Acts 15 and what?
Verse 6.
Yeah.
We all back there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It reads, and the apostles and elders came together for to consider of this matter. And when there had been much disputing, Peter rose up and said unto them, Men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago Yah made choice among us, that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe.
And do what?
And believe.
And
Yah, which knoweth the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Ghost, even as he did unto us.
And see, this is where Israelites is getting it mixed up. If you give the law out, that don't mean you get to give the gifts out.
Right.
The hell is wrong with Israel? You think you're going to control God's gift? You don't know when you get the Holy Spirit, and you don't know when it leaves. When you know you got it, you're going to do God's work, not yours. Right. And when it leaves you, you don't know it leaves. Just like it left Samson, he didn't know. Just like it left Saul. Saul said, the Lord ain't talking to me anymore. He done took his gift back. Samson went to hit that Philistine in the jawbone, and that right hand just slid off that Philistine jaw, and he smiled. Samson like, oh, the power was gone. Eat him, get it, and they got it. Put his eyes out. You don't get to do what you want with God's power. Y'all heard Jacob say he would be out of control with that power. He said every heathen he sees would have the split top loaf, buttered loaf head. He said he split them right down the center and butter them off.
Ain't that what Abraham did when the Most High said, hey, I'm going to see what you do with judgment? He had to take it away from Abraham because Abraham was destroying everybody he saw. He's like, boy, it ain't going to be nobody left on earth if you keep going. That's why it's not to men to have the power of the Most High. You would abuse it. You would abuse that kind of power and authority.
Boy, better not let Dawa Yah get
boy, look, ooh, boy. Boy, won't be nobody left on earth. Dawa Yah be throwing lightning bolts and kill innocent. You know what I mean? Just be, you be like, yeah, man. Where we at, y'all?
Verse 9. And put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith.
See, so when it comes down to the gift of the Most High, we don't have control of that. If he turn a heathen on and the heathen get on that gift of healing because we got to have physicians, what the hell are we praying for? Stay out of the surgery room. Don't go to the hospital at all then. But we pray for the surgeon's hands, don't we? Can we pray and Lord send in the Hebrew doctor? Well, he go out to know Hebrew too, don't he? Right. Or do you ask the Lord to put his healing power on that heathen surgeon's hands, don't you?
That's right. Oh, yeah.
He in control of your life with that anesthesia. He turned that valve down and your heart go to boom, boom. Because if he leave no anesthesia, your heart beating like this. Once he cut blood coming out, they stop you to almost death. You got to have somebody you know that know what they do. Right. You can't have no Negro around the corner used to work on cars or in spare time and night tomorrow operating on somebody.
It's my first day, dog.
Look.
He said it's my first day.
Boy, look there. Go ahead, bro. And read some more, man.
They trained me. Shalom, man.
We are verse 10, family. Now therefore, why tempt ye Yah to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear?
See, nor our fathers was able to bear. You know, you putting a yoke that was too hard for Abraham to carry, what y'all doing to these individuals around there. And that's to make somebody think that the book they carrying is tampered with. You off base. You can't never be on solid ground. You got vertigo. You don't know if I'm walking, stepping in a fence post hole or what. You unbalanced.
Ain't got no equilibrium.
You got to get rid of the part that's got you unbalanced. If you got a short leg, you got to get a platform. To walk evenly, don't you?
Yeah, to get the big shoe. You got to get that big shoe. That Hermes shoe.
Where we at, bro? Go ahead.
I cut a block and put it in there.
No, I'm going to tape a block of wood to you too or something.
Go ahead, bro.
Velcro it to your foot.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
But we believe that through the grace of the Lord, Yahshua HaMashiach, we shall be saved, even as they
shall be if we keep it for his grace. Noah found his grace. Yo, that's in Genesis 9th chapter. Noah found grace. So, yo, grace ain't just showed up in the New Testament. Like we say, he's the volume of the book. We don't care about you talking about the New Testament and names you're calling it flu virus and what flu testament. You want to know what the virus is? Real quick, somebody read John 3:18. Real quick, 3:17 through 19. Let's see what the true virus is. Because if you got this virus, ain't no cure for it. And then hit Deuteronomy 18, and we'll let the law tell you about that virus too, if you got this virus.
Or even at John 12 too, where you die in your sins.
Yes, sir. Yeah, what say? Start at 17 through 19. Go ahead.
John chapter 3, verse 17.
What it say?
But God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already.
See, look, judgment already done happened to you before you even get to the throne. Yep. You're condemned already. Ain't no need. You got the death penalty at trial.
Yep. A walking dead man, you on death row.
Right.
What else it say?
Because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
Yeah.
And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light.
What they love?
They love darkness rather than light.
See, that's dark talk when you hide around somebody and you live in a double life. That's dark.
Be dark, so you can't be.
Look, it had to be dark because you got to keep telling lies. You got to keep smiling like you're part of this. We don't have to do it because we messianic to the bone, virgin birth.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
we telling you this up front so you come around here. You ain't going to slip it in around here. You just going to be mad and say they got rid of me. No, you got rid of you because we told you before you came here.
Oh, do you? Hey, they saying that. It's cats out there saying we kick them out the house and everything. No, you kicked yourself out the house.
It ain't one recorded throw out of here on history for Order Melchizedek. Even back on page and tell, it's not one individual can say we told him to get the hell out of here. If it was, how do you stroll back in here with no apology?
Right.
How?
No repentance.
But you don't come up here, you sit back there. And we see if your mind is getting right again, but we ain't never threw nobody out. Somebody tell y'all we threw them out, they're a liar. Tell us to tell the event that we threw them out about.
And the cat that posted that on Facebook, he deleted it all. Once I addressed him and told him you're a lie. And y'all, he deleted all that information. Because he know he'll lie. You're slandering brothers for no reason because you got hurt feelings behind your foolishness.
That's right.
Run that 19 again, bro. That verse 19.
Yeah.
To the end. To the end of the verse.
And y'all understand this, y'all, when we're talking about whenever you hear somebody, every time you see them, the first thing they holler is Matthew 18. That's because they're the ones in trouble. Always got the law for you to correct yourself, and they ain't got it for theyself. Right. You want me to keep forgiving your bad behavior, so that's the only thing you hear. Matthew 18, shoot a gun. Matthew 18, bust your neighbor's head. Matthew 18, steal his woman. Matthew 18. Always Matthew 18. Every time you look up, here they come with this scripture. When you go get around brothers, you don't have to say that the law is not for a righteous man. That don't mean we don't sin. When you practice righteousness, it means that you don't have to keep convincing me that I need to forgive you. If you stop sinning, you won't have to keep saying that. If on the day of atonement you let come out of your lips, for all those who I may have offended, forgive me. If you don't know who you offended, that's a problem. It could be 10,000 people on your list when you say that.
You must be a very offensive person.
Look, you got to go back to every one of them according to the rule. Right. If you done offended somebody and you don't know, that means you don't understand the Bible, that you can't offend in word. You know who you done offended in this word.
You just don't know how to talk to people.
Right. That's the bottom line. And you know it's somebody else out there calling you a black SOB. Mm-hmm. If you got to make a statement like that, how you don't know who you offended? Mm-hmm. On the point that you may say it may be somebody out there. How you teaching then? What's your life about? Then you worried about if I go to the store, I may see some individual that just may bust my head with a tube of Flex Seal at Home Depot because, and then he said, what you do that for? You offended me back in 97. Oh, dog, I'm sorry. I was going to get you on the Day of Atonement.
Let's see if that Flex Seal works.
Yeah.
I'll pick you right up.
Go ahead, y'all. Look.
What's that verse 19 again?
John chapter 3, verse 19. And this is the condemnation.
What's the condemnation?
That light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light.
Yeah.
Because their deeds were evil.
Look, the deeds were evil. How you hustling the law ain't got no good.
You don't want the light on.
You're hustling off of other people. Mm-hmm. You tell them stuff and twist them up with words and no concordance around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One brother would say he making up words.
Oh, look here, look, put words on clothes. How you gonna tell clothes words?
I'm like, boy. We going back to that.
Where we at, y'all? Let's get caught up, y'all.
Back in Acts 15.
Yeah, what it say?
We in verse 11.
Yeah.
We'll go through it again. But we believe that through the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, we shall be saved, even as they. Then all the multitude kept silence and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring what miracles and wonders Yah had wrought among the Gentiles by them. And after they had held their peace, James answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simeon have declared how Yah at the first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name.
Is that a true statement or not? Because he called Cyrus what?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Let's read some more.
He called him his anointed too.
Verse 15. And to this agree the words of the prophets, as it is written.
As it is what?
As it is written. After this, I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build it again, the ruins thereof, and I will set it up.
Right.
That the residue of man might seek after Yahweh.
Right.
And all the Gentiles, upon whom my name is called, saith Yahuwah, who doeth all these things.
And see, what a problem come is Gentile, they just look for one color face. White face that had you in slavery. Gentiles are mentioned getting off the ark. Who's the isle of the Gentile? What's his name? Japhet, ain't it? So the word Gentile been around a long time, but you just want to put a color of a face on it. Gentiles is nations that's not Israel. We were slaves to Gentile black nations first, called Ham.
Yep.
Because you look like them in color only. You'll accept that captivity more than this one, and they was more detrimental on us and harsher on us than this nation ever thought about. This nation learned from the Egyptians how to treat us.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
They learned from them how to put us in check. Let's read some more.
Verse 18.
Yeah.
Known unto Yah are all his works from the beginning of the world.
How far we got to go back?
To the beginning of the world.
See, and we're talking about, we can find Christ at the beginning of the world. It's your problem you stuck in the New Testament and think you can escape. He won't exist in the Old Testament. That's your problem. That's a study issue with the word of the Most High. It's a study issue for you. If the volume of the book contain them, it's on us to find them in the New Testament from Genesis to Malachi. And it's no problem for us. The problem is you're trying to give it to 10 different people who don't fit. Hezekiah. Remember they bust our heads about that. Oh, okay, King Solomon. No, man, remember he made houses to Molech for his wife. No, how about Isaiah's son? No, it ain't him either. He ain't never been a governor.
Right.
Exactly. By the Spirit of the Most High,
You're going to be an atheist when you get through.
Yep.
Let's read some more.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
Wherefore, my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to Yah.
Why would we trouble them? Why would you trouble them and they want to believe in the Most High? And you talk about every day, my mom and my uncle won't listen to the word of the Lord. But you won't accept a Gentile to say, I'll hear the words of your God.
Right.
No, you can't hear them. You got to wait till my mom and them finally get it. That ain't written nowhere.
No.
Let's read some more.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
Right.
For Moses of old time have in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
Right.
Then pleased it the apostles and elders with the whole church to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch,
right,
with Paul and Barnabas, namely Judas, surnamed Barsabas, and Silas, chief men among the brethren. And they wrote letters by them after this manner. The apostles and elders and brethren send greetings unto the brethren which are of the Gentiles in Antioch, and Syria and Cilicia. For as much as we have heard that certain which went out from us have troubled you with words, subverting your souls, saying, ye must be circumcised and keep the law, to whom we gave no such commandment.
Look, the brothers say we ain't never gave that. Where y'all getting this from? This is another sect. So y'all, what we need to understand is bring circumcision and the covenant part into play, y'all, because it's about covenant. It's not about you gaining size. I circumcise him or I baptize him. Paul had to bust heads. He like, look, Paul ain't never died for you. He said, I ain't never was crucified for you.
Right.
He said, I don't remember. He said, I baptized some in the house of Stephanus and Gaius them. But other than that, I ain't baptized nobody. John 4 say the Messiah never baptized anybody. But his disciples did. But he never baptized anybody. Why would he? And he coming with baptism of the holy fire. Why would he do the baptism of repentance? He doing the baptism of fire on your consciousness, letting you know what judgment is about. What he gonna water? What the Messiah gonna water baptize you for? For what? He's coming with fire and power. But he didn't say don't do it. He just said, I'm the one that has to bring the new order in. John passed the torch to me.
He said, he shall decrease and he must increase. So I guess the significance of the two baptisms. John's significance of baptism was going to decrease, and Christ's baptism was going to increase, because his baptism is, like he said, is unto judgment.
Yeah.
Life eternal. Otherwise, with John's baptism, if there's no belief, you're coming up with West 7.
That's it.
You have to believe in Hamashiach. Like John chapter 3 said, without him, you condemned already.
Right.
Baptism means nothing for you.
That's why you want to be in the dark.
That's right. Look, let's get some Genesis 17th chapter. Y'all, and what we're talking about is so we get full understanding, because with class, you have to know the beginning of circumcision. Everything the Messiah say, he says it was the beginning, so we have to go back to the beginning of circumcision. Go ahead, bro. And real quick, Tubai, can you pull up benefits of circumcision? I just want you to pull that up, because what men do when they try to scare you out of the law of God, they'll tell you that circumcision is not healthy.
Right.
At all. Not only that, but when they bring in the scare tactic, they say it causes swimming pool shrinkage for some men. And it's because children in here, I can't say certain things.
Right.
But it say it cuts length off.
Right. Coming up.
Now,
short.
what man want to be? Yeah. So they scare you. Like they scare women with that polygamy doctrine. He gonna cheat on you anyway. You better get out. You ain't gonna get no man. Why you have to threaten somebody into keeping the law?
Christ said, glory not in the flesh.
In the flesh.
It says cruel and unusual.
It's cruel and unusual punishment, y'all, that they're putting on people. And this is what's happening because you don't understand circumcision, because you ain't went back to its beginning to find out its foundation. Circumcision started in the heart. Mm-hmm. That's what Satan was uncircumcised at when you read Ezekiel 28:12. It say pride was found where? In his heart. Not in his member.
Right.
And he was thrown out of heaven because his heart wasn't right. But under this covenant, it's a twofold. We're going to get some Ezekiel 44, so we clear all that up. Let's get some more, y'all. But you got, give me benefits of that. You'll probably see the Mayo Clinic pop up. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, on that Acts 15, because all praise to the Most High, that's what he gave me last night.
Uh-huh. Well, look, you meant to be here today, then.
So when we dealing with Gentiles coming into the truth, okay, it said idols, drinking blood,
right,
strangling animals.
Yeah.
Now, what if they do these things?
If they do these things, you can't be around them. They're not accepting the covenant that's given to them. It's just the same covenant before the Egyptians. You know, we came out as a mixed multitude out of Egypt. Egyptians that were strangers with us. You got all 12 tribes. Who are the strangers then? You got all 12 tribes. Who are the strangers that's with us? And Numbers 12 tell you, look, one law for the stranger, one law for Israel.
But see, the thing about it is, if they're doing it out of ignorance, it's your job to show them the right
That's
way.
right.
If they refuse to change their way,
then you separate yourself.
You separate you just like a brother.
But he said if they heed to the law, statutes, and judgments of Elohim,
right,
then you gained you a brother.
Exactly.
Not all of them.
No,
I mean, there are some. Just can we hit that Matthew 8 real quick before we hit Genesis?
Go ahead, bro. Yes, sir.
Matthew 8.
Yeah, some of them just don't know, man. You got to, tell them what it is.
Well, look, it's not just going to church. You got Israelites that don't go to church and they non-messianic. If you got a Gentile that's a believer in our Messiah, what you think gonna happen at Judgment Day for who? Romans 2:9 and Romans 3:9. Tribulation and anguish to the Jew first, then the Gentile. You do wrong, you get it first, then the Gentile. Blessings, honor, and glory to the Jew first, and then the Gentile. It don't take none away, it's just order. Just like if you at home, you run in your house, you tell her when you leave, look, I'm going to work. Now, your company can't come over till I get back home. And you come over and they company over there, not only that, but they jumping in your bed, on the pillow with their shoes on. Having a good time. Who gets it first? Your daughter gets it first. Go ahead, bro, so we can move on. What you got with that, Elijah? What was it, Matthew what?
Matthew chapter 8.
Go ahead, Thomas. Well, hold on. Let him get that Matthew first, then. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Tom. I mean, Elijah. Go ahead.
Matthew 8. I'm start at 5. I'm gonna read down to
what it say?
12. It says, and when Yahushua was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him. A centurion is a general of the Roman army.
Yeah.
So he's a Gentile. And saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. Yahushua saith unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goeth. And to another, come, and he cometh. And to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. And when Yahushua heard it, he marveled, and said to them that followed, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. And I say unto you, that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah.
So he's saying that the children of the kingdom who's reserved, the promise, the covenant is for, they're going to be thrust to outer darkness, to hellfire. This centurion, who's a Gentile of a different nation, had more faith than all the children of his own nation.
Right.
He says, so many shall come from Gentile nations and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the court of the Gentile.
Right. And you
because
know
they believe by the word.
Yeah.
If you read Romans 11, he says, those nations that do righteous just out of humanity's sake.
Right.
Become a law unto themselves.
Yeah.
They are accepted as righteous.
That's right.
Those that have the law in their hands won't even do it. Don't even believe in Christ. Beat up and killed the prophets. Who do you think gave Christ over to the Romans?
Right.
Israel.
Who said, let thy blood be upon us and our children's children? Israel.
That's right.
Pontius Pilate said, man, I ain't found no fault in this man. This is a Gentile. He said, man, I'm talking to this dude. I don't see nothing wrong that y'all accusing this man of. I wash my hands cleansed of his blood.
Oh, my grace. And look, Elijah, on what you saying too, that kills the argument that Roman soldier was an Israelite because of how the Messiah read it at the end. If that was all Israel, then they would fit under no faith in Israel.
Right.
And if they're still in a Gentile mindset, if you're saying they're in a Gentile mindset, don't know what it is, they getting a blessing. The Most High say, go home, your daughter's healed. When Elijah get to read that, your daughter already healed. So is he healing an Israelite that don't know he Israel? Then why would we care about knowing we Israel if we're in a Gentile mindset and we could get a blessing? It don't make sense, y'all.
But see, just like that verse 8, this the faith that he had. He said that centurion answered and said, Master, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof. His house ain't even worthy to hold that the majesty
He said,
of.
I don't have to have your
Right,
presence.
right. That's what I'm finna.
Yeah.
But
Just say
speak.
the word.
He said, but speak the word only.
Only.
And my servant had the faith that all the Most had to do was speak. He ain't got to show up to the party.
Right.
But
That's
he go,
what-
boy, I'm
That's what
telling
Paul said. He said, blessed are those that hear and haven't seen.
you. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because all we have is these letters,
That's
this
it.
gospel left to us. That's why Paul says, man, I can't wait to meet y'all, boy, because y'all faith had to be much greater than ours. We saw them. We walked with them. We knew them personally.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get nothing but what we leave in record.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to believe. Your faith has to be that much greater
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
to be accepted. You are walking by faith alone.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
So it has to be great. Greater. That's why he said the last shall be first. And the first shall be last.
That's right.
Now, what if you're dealing with, a lot of these Gentiles and their teachings, they don't believe like we believe.
We care nothing
But we
about that.
can't-
That's Christianity.
You
See?
can't put your trust in what going on out there.
Right. If they come around you, you should be well equipped enough to teach them the right way. If you're not and you're struggling with them, it's a problem.
They don't get in the word.
If they don't get to work, that's not your
That's not
responsibility.
your responsibility. He says, shake the dust off your feet.
Look, keep it moving.
But brother, you got your own family that won't hear it.
Right.
Why are you worried about the Gentiles? What about Israel that says, man, the hell with what you talking?
Enemies are the foes of your own household.
I got kids about 10 times.
That's a decision you didn't
That's
understand the scripture. You can't backpedal. Now you're backpedaling. You can't make the mistake again if you're saying it was a mistake. You can't make it again. Have you learned from that, and can you teach them from that perspective, from your mistake? If you can't teach your mistake, then it's still a problem.
That's right.
It's not the script problem, it's yours not understanding marriage covenants. And not only that, you're going to have to explain how was Moses married to somebody outside of Israel? How was David's daddy married to somebody outside of Israel? What the hell is Bathsheba doing with Uriah the Hittite? And what is Doeg the Edomite doing guarding the priests of Israel? That told on David. Doeg the Edomite told on David. David didn't say he wasn't supposed to be there. What is he doing guarding our priests? Guess who set him up? Saul said, you can guard our priests. Why wasn't Saul killed for that? See, y'all, it's so much in here when you study the volume of the book is written of Christ. If you don't understand, you got to look for him in Genesis all the way through to Revelation. You can't pick him up being born in a manger or whatever they're saying is, which was a lie too.
Right.
You can't find that in this Bible. If you bring it, he said, I'm the root and the offspring of David. If you don't know what that means, you have to go hunt and see what that means. I'm David's beginning and I'm David's end. I'm way before David was thought about.
He's the first creation.
David patterning himself after me, not me after him.
Mm-hmm. You say Yeshua was the first creation?
First creation.
Of all creations.
Colossians.
He's the us, or you got to find out which angel that's with him in the us part. I don't care how you twist the language of us. Us don't mean two, ain't it? Unless you bipolar. Unless you saying God is bipolar. Let us make man. And who's with him if you're going to use Isaiah 42 and 8 where he say, I ain't got no help.
Right.
That ain't going to give my glory to another. What he doing, just second guessing himself? Look, Lord, you know what it is. You don't go see, Lord, when you get down, you'll bust somebody's head, Lord. Talking to himself. Y'all, this don't make sense. But it cannot make sense to you, so they rule over you. And you come back and listen and pay for ignorance. You're paying to stay ignorant. How do somebody tell you this has holy on it and they say part of it is tampered with? You got to take holy off.
Right.
It's not set apart at that point. It's just like every other book. It's like the Quran. It's like the Watchtower. It's like all the other books. It's like Buddhism book. It's like the Mayonnaise. It's all of them that's tampered with. If you say something in here and you still let holy be on there, shame on you. Not on us, shame on you. You're a huckster and you're a trickster. We were told to look out for you because the devil don't even do what you do. Mm-hmm. The devil didn't tell nobody to get in bait car, did he? He just in bait car. He just drove up and left it running.
Yeah.
Who told him to get in the car? And when they start getting caught and the doors locked on them and the lights came on, they start coming up with lies. Telling me it's your auntie car.
I was just moving.
I was just moving it for her.
I was going to take him down to the police station.
But did the devil tell him to get in there and it wasn't going to be no trouble?
I found it.
Go ahead. What y'all got on there, y'all? We got to keep moving. Go ahead. Thomas back there. You wanted to get that. And then I get you.
Concerning the Gentiles.
Yeah.
The Romans chapter 9, verse 30.
Yeah.
Shall we say then that the Gentiles which follow not after righteousness have attained to righteousness? Even the righteousness which is of faith. Verse 31.
Yeah.
Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness, had not attained the law of righteousness.
Right.
Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith,
Uh-huh.
but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumbled at the stumbling stone.
Look, y'all, the problem is if Christ don't fix what happened in the Garden of Eden, we ain't got a chance. Ain't no need in us looking for nothing else coming. Unless this corrupt flesh is fixed, we are through. You know why? Because we're not in charge. Until the heel of Esau is taken over and we get that back. When we going to get that back? By who? Somebody got to come and overpower these super nations that's sitting on hundreds of nuclear warheads. I'm not talking about no Negroes sitting in no back room showing off their guns. Oh, the heathen don't want none of this. Shoot 50 times, boy, 50 times.
Ooh.
Do you know the oath keepers, they tracked everything they spent? You spent $17,000 on weapons. We know how many bullets you got. We know this. And then we threw anyway because we done shot up all we had on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
What we gonna do? When the war start with what? Limited? Time out. We need to run up to Walmart.
Hey, remember when the pandemic first started, you couldn't buy ammo. They wasn't selling no ammo to no black customers at all. They were saying they were out. They had to order. Everything's on back order. No Negro could find no ammo. But the heathen had all the ammo. And they were continuously getting them.
And look, this government, because it's running by prophecy according to Daniel in the book of Revelations, The heathens who are able to buy it ain't going to take this nation. They still locking them up. Yep. And they're locking up their top boys, the oath keepers. You seen them walking in there like, everybody looking like, yeah, they finna take over the council. Nancy Pelosi ass and top of that. They got the one-eyed captain, got him locked down. Yep. And bringing up his ex-wife, and she say he was a maniac. They say that's all we need. Now what you gonna do? Black Panthers got government jobs. What are we talking about, y'all?
Yep. Bobby Rush is in the government.
We're talking about a champion. Well, look,
he was a Black Panther. He a sucker, but he was a Black Panther.
He said you can't be
Bobby Seale. Bobby Seale.
Bobby Rush, ain't he a singer?
No.
Bobby Rush was a Black
barbecue. Who doing the barbecue? I don't know. It's one of them that's doing barbecue.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta get caught up, y'all. What you got back there, Theo? Hold it down, y'all.
Hold it down.
He's talking about the people who serve other gods. I learned this week, and I'm probably not new yet, that Muslims are counting on the Messiah to come back and save them.
You kid.
You said who? What?
The Muslims.
Yeah, they are. The only question, or counting on the Messiah to come back and save them. I'm like, y'all don't worship him. What do you think? How do y'all?
Which one? But they did start out worshiping him.
They said that,
Nation of Islam or?
no, the Sunnis.
No, he's talking about the black.
Al-Islam.
So all y'all is just worshipers of Deuteronomy 18, like we say, worshipers of the moon. Allah is the moon god. That's why the crescent moon, the star there. All Egyptology is the sun god. That's why they got the sun emblem up there in the symbol, and they call on Ra, who is, you look it up, it's the sun god. But Jesus of Nazareth ain't never been called an imposter, and nobody's right.
And he blots out the sun and the moon.
So unless you pull that up, the only thing you can say, well, it never existed. It never existed. Well, that you want to say it ain't going to make it the truth.
Right.
The bottom line is you're going to deal with the Messiah in the Old Testament, even though you don't want to, because we're going to show them today in the Old Testament. You don't have to accept it. That's up to you. But at least get rid of the book. You think we'll walk around with the Quran in here? I just got it to show it to me. I ain't going to carry it for what?
Right. Right.
What the hell I look like with some watchtowers in here and they making the kingdom of God look like Grant's Farm? Who the hell should I ask that out to? What I got them for? Where we at, y'all? Let's get caught up. Genesis. Thomas, did you finish that thought?
Yeah, he finished. He over there eating.
What you got? What? No, I just want, real quick, y'all.
The headings of the benefits.
Just benefits of circumcision. Just read it real quick, and then somebody get me the word smegma.
Benefits of circumcision, easier hygiene.
What it say? Read it loud, Isaiah. Hold it down, y'all. We're just looking at benefits of circumcision because we was told, even though God commanded us, we shouldn't be doing it. That sounds like the devil, don't it?
Yep.
Let's read some more. What it say about benefits of circumcision?
Easier hygiene.
What is it?
Easier hygiene.
Easier hygiene. We'll explain that when we get into smegma. Go ahead. I need somebody to look that up too, real quick.
Decreased risk of urinary tract infection.
Decreased risk of it. Not saying it'll clear it all the way, because if you dibbling and dabbling with no skin or not, and you're playing wrong, you get burnt. Let's read some more.
Decreased risk of sexual transmitted infection. Prevention of problems down there. Decreased risk of cancer down there.
Down there. See, y'all, so this is what we have to understand. When you Google when does blood, coagulate? Coagulate at 8 days. So when the Messiah put down circumcision, he knew how long it would take for your blood to start clotting again, so a baby wouldn't die. So that's another benefit. It's not a death culture. It's not a death custom. It's not a death covenant. The Most High know exactly when the blood clots up again and keep you from bleeding to death. That's why he said 8 days. He didn't say 4 days or 6 days.
Right.
He knew exactly what he's doing. And we just read what it does, but then one say, well, Abraham was circumcised till he was 99, but Abraham knew how to take a bath.
Let me read this right here.
Abraham knew what he had to do with that and wipe around there real good.
Let me
The problem is Negroes got on the same drawers for weeks and talking about circumcision. Go ahead, what you got back there?
This is also a part of the decreased cancer. In addition, cervical cancer.
Slow it up. Hey, Theo, eat you some chicken.
Go ahead, bro.
In addition, cervical cancer is less common in female sexual partners of circumcised men.
So,
You can even cut down on the cervical cancer in women if you are circumcised.
You know when bad circumcision come in, you know what them Edomites do? They practice Judaism. They circumcise with their teeth. And they've been giving HIV to the babies. Now, circumcision is bad when you circumcise with your teeth. Because it ain't no instruction to circumcise with your teeth. Somebody Google that right now if y'all think we lying. Just Google.
They even got images of them doing it.
I haven't seen it before. I believe it.
Absolutely. So y'all listen to what we're saying.
Not only do they use their teeth, they consume it.
Yeah. Look here.
Yes, they consume it.
So y'all, and what we're talking about here too, y'all, we gonna have some major problems with the covenant and who the Messiah is, y'all. Y'all have to understand they're not at us. They're at who's teaching us, and that's the Father and the Son. That's who they're attacking because they're attacking they covenant. You saying something? Okay. So because they're attacking the laws of God, they're not attacking us.
That's right.
They're attacking the laws of God. It ain't got nothing to do with us, y'all, so don't get up in arms about what they saying. Just stick to the record. They have to dance around it, and it's the same dancing around that they always done. It's called living two lives. Two masters. You're going to love one or you're going to hate the other. And Satan give out gifts now, so you love him now. The Father say, I'm going to give you a gift that never rot away. That car going to be left for somebody else you got. Mm-hmm. That Gucci and Wucci going to be left for somebody else. Because you only going to get to wear one of them in your casket. Y'all understand what we saying? So go ahead and run with all that stuff now, but you can't stop aging. And you're going to get to a point that where you can't drive a car because you ain't going to be able to see good.
Right. Reflex
as you keep getting older. And you done threw your vessel on the crap table for that little bit of time. Mm-hmm. Where we at?
Genesis
17, y'all.
Somebody was supposed to look up
Smegma. What it say?
I couldn't get it on my phone.
See, back in the hood, we used to call it vessel cheese because of the short leggers in here, but we use another word that started with a different letter. Around the ghetto, we used to call it vessel cheese. Well, I'm trying to keep it clean because we got short leggers in here.
Don't worry about it. Just read that.
Go ahead. What it say?
You got it? Oh, okay.
Read it louder. Y'all hold it down. Y'all. So go ahead. 2 by.
It says smegma.
Sebaceous
secretion.
Hey, y'all hold it down over there. Y'all. Hey, where y'all learn how to whisper in the barn? I'm just asking y'all. Go ahead.
You know who it is. It's Thomas.
Go ahead, bro.
Smegma.
What it say?
A sebaceous secretion
in
the folds of the skin, especially under a man's foreskin.
Especially under a man's what?
Foreskin.
That's where smegma hides out at. Look here. If you smelling it, it's some trouble already. Go ahead. What else it say, 2 by?
That was it.
Is it? What else you got over there about it? What else you got over there? The smell is unappetizing, especially you put unwashed smegma in a woman. It's going to be unappetizing for her as well. Y'all have to understand, that don't mean that you had to be circumcised. What that means is you had to get that from up under that layer of skin daily. You had to cleanse yourself. We were a clean people.
Yeah, that ain't really sweat up.
And you got an Israelite out here call himself nature boy that never takes a bath and doo-doos outside. I mean, look, if y'all don't believe it, they locked him up in Hawaii. They say they was stinking so bad on the plane.
Hey, listen.
They was stinking so bad on the plane, they thought the mask was for COVID, but it was for them stinking.
God, boy.
They call him the nature boy. He doodle besides trees and never takes a bath. So you know if he wasn't circumcised, how much smegma is built up. And he got 8 women because he used to be a male stripper. And he stripped for males too. That's all I'm saying.
That ain't sweet.
But also understand that these cats that's calling themselves of the Essene sect, the guys that's supposed to have been of the Dead Sea Scrolls sect, they don't wash either. Nor do they wash their underwear and change their clothes. Yes, look it up.
Hey y'all,
They say they only bathe in cold water, no soap.
No. So, what are you bathing for then? That should be against the law.
And they only use, they supposedly only dress in white, but they never change their clothes.
So how do you stay white?
It ain't staying white.
It ain't staying white.
Look
See,
here.
you have to read between the lines of the BS.
Yeah. They just got on white.
It's probably
Messiah
cream.
had a problem with these cats. They were in existence when in the days of Christ. But they fled, they separated themselves from the larger Israelite community and dwelt in the rocks and the caves all over the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
That's where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. But they didn't believe in the Messiah. They didn't believe in the law, statutes, and judgment of the Most High. They even said Christ was doing the law wrong. So you have to study.
Yeah, you do.
You have to study. People are being seduced by seducing spirits and doctrines of devil.
Yeah.
Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh.
Now some will say we said that circumcision you have to be. We ain't never said that. What we told you was that Abraham's heart was circumcised first. Now we're going to hit some little Ezekiel 44 for those that say, well, I don't agree with the flesh, but I can't go with the heart. We don't care what you can go with. The rules say there's 2 parties to this. We don't care about what you say.
Right.
And you wasn't circumcised on the 8th day anyway.
You say Sunday, I say Saturday.
Look, cause the hospital right now, 2 days and help her get out of here with that baby. They have to put a special cream on her to make it, what's the word? Coagulate.
Coagulate.
They put some sauce on there. And they tighten it up to hold it and keep the baby from bleeding to death. And you out of there in 2 days. Because there ain't no insurance for you to come back on the 8th day. And if it was that, we wouldn't go back anyway. I'd have missed my point. If you don't know when dedication is or the Passover, how in the hell you going to know to take the baby back to the hospital?
Well,
Yo, who we fool?
Make it make sense.
Yo, let's get some Genesis 18 chapter. 18, 17? Okay, I'm sorry. Good. 17, go ahead. And y'all look at the name he was calling him first right here. So y'all, we get understanding before Abraham became an apostle. Let's get it. Who got it?
Levi. That's Levi. You only read the one. We only read one.
That's all? Well, we got to get caught up, y'all. We ain't got nothing but an hour. Let's get it going. Who was that keep talking?
You see,
Don't try to hide, Thomas.
you see Genesis 17?
Yes, sir.
Starting verse 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We at Genesis chapter 17 and verse 1.
What it say?
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Elohim.
Right.
Walk before me and be thou perfect.
So how did he appear to Abraham? What did he physically show up? Because you're going to have a problem with Genesis because he said I only spoke to 2 people face to face, and that was Moses and the Messiah. Everybody else in dreams and visions. So what is this with Abraham being spoke face to face? What can it only be? A what? A dream. Mm-hmm. It can't be mouth to mouth because he say only Moses and Messiah I talk face to face with. As a man talking to his friend. Everybody else I deal with you in visions and dreams. So what is this we're having right here? A vision. Because he's not Moses.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Let's read some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
So now we get the understanding of when circumcision first come into play. He's 99. And I'm going to make a covenant with you. Just like he told Noah. I'm going to make a covenant with you. I'll never flood the earth again with water. I'll never overflow it and kill everything on it. And I'm going to put my bow in the cloud. That's the covenant. So you'll remember that I keep my word with you. A tornado can go through and rip through storms everywhere. But what happened when it passed through? The sun come back out. And what you see? A rainbow.
The covenant.
The covenant that's around the throne. Let's read some more.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And Abram fell on his face, and Yah talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
See, and that's a father. Not the father, but the father of many nations. Nations meaning from his loins is going to start a whole nother nation of people. Y'all have to understand how significant that is. I'm not talking about no wayward Negro, only 29 and got 23 children. He's not a father of many nations. He just like to have fun.
A father of a brood of ungodly.
Where we at?
Verse 5.
Yeah.
Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful. And I will make nations from thee, and kings shall come out of, and kings shall come out of, and I will establish.
Read that again.
Yeah, boy, you got some run on.
You need
my page kind of ripped.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Do some. Doing that Black Panther reading. Go ahead, bro. Just go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
Verse 6 again.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations
of thee.
Okay, that's where it's good up. Okay. And kings shall come out of thee.
So he's talking about more than one nation, not just the nation of Israel. Right. Coming from Abraham. When you bring up Abraham, you got to include everybody and everyone that come out of his loins. If you don't know about this covenant. You ain't got a clue about this covenant, and you snatch something from somebody that's an offspring of Abraham. Abraham is a Hebrew, right? His son Ishmael, what that makes him? What it makes him? A Hebrew Ishmaelite. He's Hebrew. We got that twisted. We don't want him to even be Hebrew. Right. And you can't say Abraham's his daddy. You got to eliminate that out of your language, then. What is Esau?
Edomite.
A Hebrew what?
Edomite.
Who was his daddy?
Isaac.
And Isaac was a what?
Israelite.
A Hebrew.
Well, Hebrew. I mean,
and then he had a son, Jacob.
Yep.
Israel didn't come until after.
Now we get a switch in names and the 12 tribes come about.
Right.
But Esau is a nation descending from Abraham. What we going to do about that? Can we do anything about that, Elijah? No. Did we write it?
No.
Only all we got is to say, well, that part of the Old Testament is tampered with. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations.
In their generations,
For an everlasting covenant, to be a Elohim unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their heir. And Yah said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
What shall every man child be?
Circumcised. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of a covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or brought with money of any stranger.
Of any what?
Any stranger. Which is not of thy seed.
Which is not of thy seed. You see them included in long as they under his roof? You're under his rules. If they're under our rules, then they have to play by the rules.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. You can't bring no Gentile into the covenant and he play by his rules. Let's read some more. What you got, Theo?
Hey, so when they like swallow that foreskin,
Judaism, the Talmud teach them that.
right? Would they be unclean?
Look, you ain't even got to get to the point to swallow the part in your mouth down now. You done pulled
And then you got blood in your mouth.
You got blood in your mouth. So what we're talking about is you got Israelites wanting to be followers of Judaism. Because they hate the New Testament so bad, they'll chase Judaism. And when you check their record, they're dillying and dallying in the Talmud. And we know it because we know when you borrowed the book, the Talmud and the Kabbalah. You're chasing Judaism. You're not chasing this. You're condemning this. And you're keeping hold to the Kabbalah and the Talmud, which say Messiah is burning in hot doo-doo. That's what the Talmud says.
Upside down.
And that's why they're saying the same things about the Messiah, because they're reading the books of Judaism. That's why they have the hexagram with them and all the other symbols of Judaism, but that's not found in the Bible. And they have the nerve to tell us, y'all following Christianity. We ain't said nothing about nothing from AD 32, the Council of Nicaea. Name one thing we've said about that since we've been in here today that's recorded in the Council of Nicaea. Those are Roman canons. It ain't said no scriptures. They're Roman canon. Canon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it.
That ain't in here.
That's it.
Let's read some more.
Verse 13 again.
Yeah.
He that is born in thy house, and he that is brought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people.
What shall happen to that soul?
Shall be cut off from his people.
And the Most High will deal with you. Now look, we're in captivity, so we had no control of that. When you got circumcised, you got circumcised. I was 12. You got circumcised when you got, some slaves never got circumcised. Look, Abraham, y'all talking about 12, Abraham 99. Yo, he 80 years older than me, and y'all talking about, 12. Right. At least I was under anesthesia.
Yeah, my brother was at
Boy, look here.
He was 16 when he got in.
Boy, them sharp rocks is like a broken 40 ounce, and they go to work. Where we at?
Verse 14 again.
Yeah.
And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
What has he done?
Broken my covenant.
So how do we listen to anybody talking about now to break God's covenant? The devil never done that. Yeah, I want y'all to understand clearly what I'm saying. The devil has never, ever told anybody to break God's covenant. He always asks you, what did God tell you? When you don't know, then it's fair game. He's not tricking you. You already the trick. Because you don't know what the rules are, even if you repeat them back to him. Eve repeated back everything to Satan. And then the father asked her, what did I tell you? She repeated it back to him. He like, well, what you do that for?
Same thing when he tempted Christ on the mountain.
On the mountain.
He asked him according to the knowledge of the law. And he replied by law.
And he left for a season. Resist the devil and he flee. Right. And the only way you resist them is with the law. Get on away from around here. I ain't going to break the law of God.
What that mean to be cut off from your peace?
What it means is like blessings and things that come, if it's done intentionally, if you just do it, it cuts you off from the family line. It just cuts off blessing. It cuts off inheritance. It don't necessarily kill you that day. But what it does is the blessings start to get cut off. But it's mainly because of, not because you didn't have knowledge, because we're not destroyed for lack of knowledge. We were destroyed because of what? Rejection. We reject knowledge. So if you had the knowledge to do it and you reject it, then the cutoff comes. It's like your parents say, you get cut off. You keep doing wrong in here, I'm going to cut you off. Earl keep doing right. Earl going to keep getting gifts. You get cut off. You the prodigal son at this point. If you come back right, then you get back into the fold. We kill the fatted calf. What you got, bro?
Do you think that it's the father's responsibility to get the circumcise their son?
Is it the father's responsibility?
The father or the mother?
It should be. But see, what we're talking about marriage, we're not talking about shacking girlfriend and boyfriend. We're talking about a marriage covenant, because this is a covenant right here. And what we're talking about is when this responsibility here, if the father can't do it, the mother gonna do it. But if you tied up in court, you know, and you got baby mama drama, this ain't talking about that. You're trying to first get past a bastard slip. That means we didn't plan on having this baby. You said you was on appeal. You said you was only gonna put the covenant in. Where we at? So now we got a baby. So the rules, you're hustling backwards now because you rejected knowledge. It's not that because you got circumcised 15, 16, the knowledge may have not been there. From the word perspective of it being a covenant, not from the fact that, yeah, I bet you ain't circumcised. What we gonna do? Get some circumcised checkers up in there? It's your week to check everybody coming through the door. Who gonna be on that duty?
Be drawing straws.
Boy, look here.
Look.
We ain't gonna even get a German Shepherd to smoke for circumcision.
All the straws.
I ain't growing nothing no more than a picture.
Hold on. What you saying, bro?
I said, is it the mother or the father's responsibility to circumcise their son?
Not you physically do it if you ain't got no practice or no skill.
Right.
That's what we tell you. Can't be no back door, because then you really be worrying about shortness. Because you just let anybody go to cutting. He's saying I'm supposed to do this and ain't got no skill. I'm going to the doctor. Would you get on a 747 when you walk on there and I'm behind the wheel? Would you feel safe?
Hell no.
So in like manner, will you feel safe taking a blade and going to work on your son with no skills? No doctor. You don't become a doctor at this point. You got a midwife there. She may know what she doing. She'll come back in 8 days like the midwife that got massaged.
But do you believe like when we was in our trials and stuff, like the elders had knowledge of that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We had our own government. We had our own doctors and lawyers. We were a kingdom. This is what you have to understand. We're part of another kingdom as servant. But we were running the show. We had our own navy. We had an air force of angels. When you read about King Solomon, we control the animals on earth. We were back in charge of planet Earth. They brought zoo animals to us, gorillas and peacocks and different things. And Solomon made sure that they didn't get phased out. You're in charge of planet Earth. It's not just giving commandments to people. You have to ensure that the Earth population, you got to make sure locusts don't get out of sync. You got to make sure there's enough bee pollen out there for plants to follow. You in charge of the earth when you're a Melchizedek priest. Not no Negro talking about eating chicken and saying I'm third in heaven and don't know what's going on at the animal shelter.
Right. Like Noah. Noah cared not only for his family, but the
what he bring on the ark?
Beast of the earth.
Y'all understand?
The clean and the unclean beast of the earth.
Because clean and unclean had to keep the earth going like it's supposed to be. You got to have 2 pigs on the ark, 2 male and 2 female, because the unclean were about 2 pairs, and 7 pairs of the clean, 7 deer, 7 female deer. He had to get them on the ark, and all the ones that wouldn't obey and bow to Noah drowned in the flood. Let's read some more, y'all. Let's get this caught up.
In Genesis chapter 17 and verse 15.
Okay, now hold on. It says every son should be circumcised, right?
Yeah.
Real quick, like before you hit that light, real quick, somebody give me Exodus 3. Real quick, y'all. Exodus 3:18, Moses with his father-in-law named Jethro, Zipporah's father. But get down to, y'all read that, but we're going to get down to verse 24. 23, the Lord told Moses to go tell Pharaoh, let my people go. But Moses is hard-headed. How are you going to break the law and go and tell somebody else not to break the law? Do y'all understand? Let's read right here real quick.
There is no 3 and 24.
Huh? 4. I'm sorry, y'all. 4. I'm sorry, y'all. 4. And when y'all look at 18, 4 and 18, then we get to 3 and Exodus.
Exodus 4 and 24. And it came to pass by the way in the inn.
They passing a hotel like a Holiday Inn. Go ahead.
That the Most High met him and sought to kill him.
Then
Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So he let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision.
See, and when you get into the book of Jasher, it goes into detail about that event. And you'll see that he sent an angel, and an angel was going to slay Moses for disobeying the commandments of the Lord. How you going to go to Pharaoh and you disobedient? All Pharaoh had to do, because soothsayers was there, they know about us, they'd have been saying, check and see if the baby got the covenant. So Pharaoh, you come in here and tell me what your God say, let your people go. I will not. Give me the boy Gershom and snatch his hamper down. He has the blood look. And you come to tell me anything. Now, is that past 8 days when this happened? Huh? This had to be past 8 days when this happened. Because now Zipporah circumcised him after the day, because the angel came to kill him, because day 8 had already passed. Right. This 9, 10, or 11 day. He late. That's why the hit is on. But when you get into the book of Jasher, her father, Jethro, say, leave the baby here with me. Go and do that work of the Lord. And he left him there and then circumcised him according to his father-in-law. So y'all understand what we're talking about here, how important this covenant is, and then somebody just tell you it's unhealthy. We just read the benefits of it. See, and this is one thing you have to always watch about these charlatans. They will never show you the other side of the coin. They will never show you the benefits of eating clean meat. They'll find chickens eating mouse, where they go find some unsavory chicken keepers. But they will never go to this one site I sent you to where they make sure that the coops are air conditioned. The nests are cleaned out daily. They're fed the best high grain, non-GMO grain that a chicken eats. Damn, why won't they show you that first?
Because it don't fit the agenda.
Y'all, that's dirty and that's tricks, y'all, to show you a bad side of something and say it ain't possible, there ain't no good side there. If you believe birthdays are bad in the Bible, then Google "are birthdays good" and watch what scriptures pop up. Then you have to weigh the odds and see that birthdays only mentioned 3 times in the Bible, and ain't none of them got nothing to do with the birthday. It's the events that happen on that day. Every day somebody's birthday, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Something bad happened on your birthday, what you do? See, you should have been born on that day, dog. I told you all that kicking and break that your mama's water. You should have waited. Let's read some more, y'all. Where we at?
That ain't crazy.
Let's get back to that Genesis 17. Where you at, Levi?
Verse 15.
Yeah, go ahead. We're going to get caught up, y'all. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Sure we will.
All right, we in Genesis chapter 17 and verse 15.
Yeah.
And Yah said unto Abraham, as for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be.
See, he said, don't call her that no more. That's her in the world name. You get a new name. Y'all see, like we get a new name. Y'all understand? The names that we named ourselves are not the name because we ain't had the visit yet. Right. These names we just gave each other.
Most High said, I'm going to write a new name upon it.
Look, who named Nabal? I'm just saying, what does Nabal mean? Food.
Yeah, the ball. Yeah.
Food. And that's what his wife said. Well, his very name is called Food. Mm-hmm. What's up, Food? Look, I'm just saying, so who named him? And knowing that that's his name. The meaning of it. Y'all understand why titles don't mean nothing? It's the spirit within a man. Most High gonna change your name. He's changing the name of your soul. How he identifies with your immortal. Because you're a friend with him now. So he talks to your immortal soul. He don't talk to flesh no more. That's why the vision is he's in a vision. He's in a supernatural communicating with the soul, not the flesh. Mm-hmm. In a trance. In a trance. These Negroes is fleshing you out. They only talk about the flesh. The outer cup, what I look like. You try other things instead of the commandment. You can play a harp and get the vibrations all you want, but the harp did David no good when he saw Bathsheba. He was playing it, but he still went in there, didn't he?
Strings start breaking.
Look here. Y'all don't go for the okie doke. That's idol worship. It's no different than holding a cross. Oh, I got this on. I wish a heathen would. Hey, you see. Ow! For some quit it. Come on, y'all. Let's keep going. Boy, look here.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And I will bless her.
What he gonna do?
Bless her.
Uh-huh.
And give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations.
What's she gonna be the mother of?
Of nations.
Uh-huh.
Kings of people shall be of her.
Uh-huh.
Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
Right.
And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?
And not, so, come on now. He like, look, that's powdered milk she got right now. and I'm walking like Fred Sanford. Can we? Where we at? I got that from Ariel. That was a good one. Go ahead.
Buttermilk.
Yeah. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 18.
Yeah.
And Abraham said unto Yah, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
He like, look, you sure I got Ishmael? You sure that I may live between him, Hagar's baby, me and Hagar's baby? Let's read some more.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
And Yah said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
And with his seed after him, the covenant of circumcision. So now we understand his seed. It was Isaac's seed, and the covenant went the elder shall serve the younger. So the covenant went to Jacob and his seed, the giving of the laws, of the statute, and the judgments, and the commandments of the law. Not to Esau, not to Ishmael, but to who? Jacob. Isaac. Jacob. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 19 again.
Yeah.
And Yah said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee.
Look, I heard what you're asking about your other children. You're not a deadbeat dad.
Right.
You still care about your children. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
And that's where you get the so-called Arab nations. Palestinian, Iran, Iraq, all of them. Mm-hmm. The Ishmaelites. 12 princesses. 12 tribes of Israel, right?
Yep.
Look in Genesis 36 and see how many tribes Esau got, the Dukes and the Temans. 12.
12.
Let's read some more.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year.
Right.
And he left off talking with him. And Yah went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as Yah had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
How old was he?
13.
So automatically he'd have missed his 8-day mark, ain't he? So y'all, we understand the day count. It's order if we're in our kingdom to get it done in 8 days. But if it don't get done in 8 days, it has to be done before you take your last breath, if it's possible. If it's not, the heart has to be good. Because he changed Abraham's name before the covenant went on the flesh, didn't he? Let's read some more. Just go down to 24 and we're going to move this real quick because we got about a half hour. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael his son.
So Abraham circumcised himself. After everybody else, he went to work on himself. Ain't nowhere recorded. And they took another priest. And he went to work. The priest do the circumcision. You don't do it. You take it to the doctor, don't you? The doctor, the priest in that sense, when you go have a baby today. He does the circumcision. You just got to make sure he ain't doing it with his teeth. Have y'all looked that up? Anybody looked that up yet?
I've seen it before.
If y'all think we lying, rabbis circumcised with their teeth and giving babies HIV.
So they got HIV already, and they bite.
Well, you got germs all in your mouth. You got yeast buildup and bacteria. And they giving them herpes.
What they doing this in?
Boy, you got a smartphone right there? Use that smartphone. Google rabbis circumcised with teeth and watch what you get.
We are in the information age. There's no reason why we should be not understanding what's going on. I mean, we look up all manner of things.
Yeah.
Stop always looking up foolishness and start looking up things to help better your life and understanding in this walk.
So long, man. Where we at?
We at verse 27.
Yeah.
And all the men of his house born in the house and brought with money of the stranger were circumcised with him.
So y'all, we see the covenant. Shalom, D. Y'all, we see what the covenant's about. If you let anybody start you in Galatians and don't go back to Genesis 17 first to see if we're both on the same page with the instructions, everybody's in trouble. It's like playing spades and don't nobody remember what the suit is. Didn't nobody say what it was, so I'm picking hearts to be the suit. What you do? Everybody throw their hand in, don't they? Right. Boy, look at it. I ain't got no more spades.
You just sit there and just toss out what you can.
Let's speed this on up, y'all. Ezekiel 44, 6 through 9. Real quick. Then I want to get Luke 2:21. But I want to read, Luke 2:21. Then I want to read Luke 1:5. Because, y'all, when we say these charlatans are after the Messiah, if the Messiah was circumcised, then he's no good either, according to their doctrine. You understand what we saying? Moses ain't no good. Abraham ain't no good. So you can't let none of them come out of your mouth and you know they've been circumcised unless you say you can't talk no bad about it. Shalom, bro. Be careful.
Shalom, family.
Zip that coat up when you get out there, baby girl. Put that hood on. All right, bro.
You too, brother.
Use that smartphone, bro. Yeah, go ahead. Where we at?
We're in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 44. And we're going to start the reading in around verse 6.
A few pages, flip.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's a table. You need to back it up. You can, bro. Thought it. Yeah, 6. 6 is good. No, we just gotta get caught up. Y'all read 1 through 6.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 44 and verse 6. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus saith the Most High Yah, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations, in that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart.
What was first?
Their heart.
Uncircumcised in heart. You done brought strangers. You just letting anybody in and they don't know the word of the Most High. What, they got some money? Let's read some more.
And uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house. When ye offer my bread, the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant.
What have they done?
They have broken my covenant because of all your abominations.
Who caused them to break the covenant? Israel. Because of all of your what? Read some more, bro.
Verse 8. And ye have not kept the charge of mine holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. Thus saith the Most High Yah, no stranger uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary, of any stranger that is among the children of Israel.
So no stranger uncircumcised in heart or flesh can enter into the sanctuary, and what we mean to be brought into the covenant of Messiah. They have to first understand it and accept what the rules are. Then they'll tell you, I'm ready for my flesh. Right?
That's right.
But they're in the same, they got both of them. And we're going to get into some Acts 16 because there's a problem with Timothy. And we read his writings, 1st, 2nd Timothy. And then they talk, see all the New Testament, just some little old letters. Well, what you think Proverbs and Psalms are? Those are letters. A Psalm of David. Write this to the Lord. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Those are the same type of letters. Proverbs 26, 4 and 5. Answer a fool in his folly. Answer not a fool in his folly. Answer a fool in his folly if he's wise in his conceit. One say don't never answer him. The other one say answer him if he's pulling some slick stuff.
Right.
So we hear folly pulling slick stuff, telling you that there's no good with circumcision. We just read benefits, didn't we? And if you ain't wash your rear end and you ain't circumcised, you can believe you have a smegma buildup.
Smegma. Spread it on toast.
Oh, boy, look here. Look here.
Oh, you tell her.
Look here. You sound like, boy, that sound like you read some Nature Boy teaching. Where we at, y'all? Let's get right to it. Let's see and why this is so important. Give me Luke 2:21, and then back that up with Luke 1:59 and 60. Because there's something very important here that we have to see. If you're saying that circumcision is no good, then the Messiah is no good. Y'all have to understand this ain't about us. Y'all, it's about our lawgiver and who we look at in the Godhead, the three that bear record.
That's right.
They ain't at us, y'all. They at our head. If they crack the head off, then we'll fall behind it. But we can't give up hope in Messiah.
That's right.
Because you know, man, saying, what's the end game? How do we to get the kingdom back? How do we get charge of the nuclear controls?
How do we get these sins up off of?
You think you can rattle some bowls and hum and sing and strum? And the heathens just gonna turn over? That old song of Babylon, I have to give you the nuclear codes. And it's Donald Trump. Shit. Who you fooling? Go ahead, bro. Let's get caught up.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Luke, chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 21. Everybody there?
Luke 2.
Luke 2.
And 21. Y'all, we just hitting these one-liners to establish a point that our Messiah said ain't nothing happened to us that ain't happened to him.
That's right.
So if they talking about you, they talked about me first. And this talk didn't just start. Elijah, we heard this talk 30 years ago, didn't we?
30 years ago.
Guess who else? Guess who was talking this talk 50 years ago? Benjamin Carter, and went over to Israel 50 years ago talking that same talk. Ain't no son of God. I'm him. And then you introduce Farrakhan at the second Million Man March.
And where that nigga at now?
Look. But this is what I'm talking about. You're the king of the world, the savior that the book is talking about, and you introduce a philosopher as His Excellency. Right. And I introduce to you His Excellency, the Honorable Elijah, and you, God.
And he's standing three steps higher than you. But you God, and you introducing one that said, you ain't nothing but a man.
And then he hustling his books after the thing. Now I got Benjamin Hugh, what's my damn name? I'm a whoever I am. I got my book.
I'm a whoever I am.
How to act like you Israel and ain't in control. Get your book now. How to be Israel over in the land, but ain't got a pot to piss in. Get my book.
$29.99.
And the streets of gold. Yo, we've been to Home Depot and got some gold number 9715. Looks just like real gold. We done painted the sidewalks. Get my book. He wrote 8 books.
And they living on reactors.
Boy, look here.
Reactors.
Benjamin Carter wrote 8 books. For what? Let's read some more.
Why he just stick with this?
Let's get this Luke, y'all.
The book of Luke, chapter 2, and verse 21.
What it say?
And when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, his name was called Yeshua.
How many days was accomplished?
8 days.
Uh-huh.
Which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb.
So the angel told Mary and Joseph what to do. But 8 days he circumcised. So what do this mean? Is the Messiah unclean based off an individual telling you circumcision ain't no good for you? It's a death curse. What happens to the Messiah, our belief in the Messiah? So the attack is on our faith of the Messiah. If he ain't no good, ain't no need you niggas getting it. He ain't no good. That's what they're telling us. Shalom, Mimo.
Shalom, Mimo.
Okay. Thank you very much. Don't need nothing, man. We're good. You took care of us. Y'all see how the nurse come in, take care, make sure everybody well. Look at your hand, look at your nose. If you got any piece of snot hanging out, you gonna get the treatment.
You gonna get the treatment.
Go ahead. Where we at? Where we at?
We're going to be in the book of Luke, chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 59 and 60.
Yeah, we're going to see who this is.
And it reads, And it came to pass that on the 8th day they came to circumcise the child.
Uh-huh.
And they called him Zacharias, after the name of his father.
Uh-huh.
And his mother answered and said, Not so, but he shall be called John.
Who just got circumcised on the 8th day again, before the Messiah? John. See, so either John the Baptist. So you can't say nothing about these individuals. Don't you know when you say circumcision off the table, you can't include nothing about an individual that's circumcised. Nothing. You off the table. But we don't understand that we get to chasing is circumcision really bad. And, you know, I'm worried about swimming pool shrinkage. If I let them hack on this, then I'm through. Right. Ain't that crazy? Scare tactics, y'all.
Say the turtle done went into the ship.
Yeah, boy, look here.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Boy, don't be scared of them tricks, y'all.
Boy.
Look. Go ahead. Look, the devil ain't never told us not to get circumcised. These Negroes are.
Right.
The devil ain't never said it.
So are they trying to play God?
Boy, look here. They want to be God.
God forbid.
God forbid. Y'all, let's get this while we rolling pretty good.
What we going to, Romans? You want that Romans?
Yeah, let's go hit that Romans 3.
That's a lot.
I tell you what, we may finish up. This is called the law of faith, but we may need to get into Acts 16 first. We'll double back to the Romans 3:20 through 31 if we can. We'll wrap it up with that. But let's get right into Acts 16 chapter. We're going to go Galatians 2, and we'll explain a little bit of Exodus 24, because now this is what we will call a mixed marriage under the law of the Most High. Mm-hmm. Some will say that's why I don't believe Timothy. His daddy was a Greek. Well, you just said all Greeks are Israelites. Mm-hmm. Then ain't he still an Israelite? Then he just think he a Greek. See, you can't have it both ways, bro. One breath they want to make it a Gentile, now Greek. Mm-hmm. But because it don't fit, I just get rid of the whole New Testament then. Yeah. I can't trust none of it. No, you ain't trusting yourself.
Yep. You got it, Life? You with us, Life?
Where we at?
We in Acts 16.
All right, where we start?
Verse 11.
Verse 1.
You want one?
Yeah.
Acts chapter 16, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there.
What was she? A certain what?
Disciple.
That means a follower. Or that word wouldn't be there. Let's read some more.
Named Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess and believed.
So she was an Israelite and believed. Go ahead.
But his father was a Greek.
Now, what difference would this make, and why is everybody up in arms if all the Greeks are Israelites that don't know who they are? Don't make sense, do it?
Not at all.
But see, they'll argue this because they're saying Timothy is a half-breed. That's against the law. Let's read some more. We're going to clear that up, though. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
Which was well reported of by the brethren that was at Lystra and Iconium.
Yeah.
Him would Paul have to go forth with him, and took and circumcised him because of the Jews which were in those quarters, for they knew all that his father was a Greek.
A knucklehead Israelite don't know who he is. Does that fit? No, it don't fit. They all knew his father was a white man.
Right.
But his mama was an Israelite.
Yeah.
Real quick, hold that before we read some more lights. Give me a real quick Exodus 24 and 10. And we're going to see what has happened in Egypt in slavery again when we had another nation dominate. Y'all don't think that is going to be mixed marriages? You in another kingdom? Yeah. If you could control love, you would.
Right.
Or it's taboo. You think it's something I ain't supposed to have, so I go after it. But the Most High say, you can't just wipe your hands and say, oops, I made a taboo. He like, no, you on the hook for that child. You got to get busy. And it better not have been a stranger that's a virgin the rules apply to. Because you shouldn't even went in there with your covenant. Let's get that Exodus 24:10. What does it say?
Exodus chapter 24, verse 10. And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were a body of heaven, in his clearness.
That ain't what I want at all. Maybe it's Leviticus 2014. Give me Leviticus 2014. I know it's law.
I read it, I ain't think so.
That's good.
You gonna tell me right scripture?
That's good.
I said right where I was. I started reading.
Yeah. Y'all know what I want. I want law. 2014 Leviticus. Sorry about that, y'all. You know that sometimes kick in.
Make it all the time.
Yeah. And we see if this line up with Acts 16, if we see if the New Testament tripping, because if it's in the Old Testament, there ain't no punishment handing down, how we gonna blame the New Testament?
Right.
Get on your game, Israelites, and don't let them one-line you and take away your connection with the Most High. They cutting it off. Most High say, he that teaches to break the least commandment. I'm talking about just a wave offering, a sheep offering. If he teach you to break that, according to Messiah, he can't get in the kingdom.
Even
Let alone a covenant of circumcision.
Right.
eating the pork,
Boy, look here.
shellfish.
Teach you that. It's not what goes in a man destroyed, what comes out. Don't eat that.
Right.
Don't get circumcised. That comes out to that defiles.
Right.
Break the law of God.
Yep.
New Testament don't exist. Where that's coming from?
Out your mouth.
Let's read some more.
Leviticus chapter 24, verse 10. And the son of an Israelitish woman.
Then we just start off like that in Acts 16, a Jewish woman. Because see, Old Testament deal with the nation specifically. Jacob tribe. New Testament deals with either Jew or Gentile. Until they're asked to break down their tribal origin like Paul had to do in Romans 9. Mm-hmm. I'm a Roman citizen,
right,
but I'm an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. But they was calling him the Jew. Mm-hmm. But he's a Benjamin. Judah is the head tribe until Shiloh come, till Messiah come. Right. So Judah, that's why everybody is named after Judah. But Paul wasn't no Jew specifically. He was a Benjamite. Yep. But Judah has the scepter. And all other nations fall under Gentiles no matter what they are. Even Abraham's other descendants are still considered Gentiles. Mm-hmm. Let's read some more.
Verse 10 again.
Yeah.
And the son of an Israelitish woman, whose father was an Egyptian.
What was his father?
An Egyptian.
A black Hamite.
Went out among the children of Israel. And this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp.
See, notice how in the law, it never says that the father has the power like these camps tell you. No, the man control the seed. The man control the seed. It never said male control the seed to Abraham. It said seed. Your seed could be male or female. So we see the woman's seeds have dominance in captivity. No matter who we mate with or they'll miscegenate us out. All they got to do is kill all the male and rape the women. Israel exists no more if that's the case, ain't it?
That's right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of the Most High and cursed.
And what did he do?
And cursed. And they brought him unto Moses.
Why didn't they take him unto Pharaoh? Let's read some more.
And his mother's name was Sholomith, the daughter of Dargan, Debris of the tribe of Dan.
What tribe was they from?
Dan.
Say, there's an Israelite Danite woman in Egypt in captivity and had a baby by an Egyptian man. Is this violation of Deuteronomy 7? Y'all scared? Look. The bottom line is, what she had with that man, that son had to be raised according to Israelite law.
Right.
Male or female, the woman controls the seed as well. Mm-hmm. Y'all seen Serena Williams' baby? Y'all seen what? Well, you been on them YouTube videos too much. Boy, you was good at first, boy. So look, she done been circumcised all the way up to her navel then, if that's a man. Man, you got girl baby pictures. You got a birth certificate, man. I mean, some of this stuff is just, come on, y'all can't be chasing in there. Yeah, they said Michelle Obama was a man because she had a wrinkle in her dress. Come on, man. Y'all, what it look like? Look. If they get pictures of you when you was 10, 11 years old, pulling yourself between your legs to see what you look like when you was a girl, what they gonna say about you? Let's read some more. Let's read some more.
Oh,
Is this you?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you be like, I'm too ugly to be a woman. Nope.
You say, Mama, if I was a girl, I look like this.
No. Oh, you ain't gonna never go to the prom.
You ain't.
Where we at? Let's get some more, y'all.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
And they put him inward, that the mind of the Most High might be showed them.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, bring forth him that hath cursed without the camp,
Uh-huh.
and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head,
Uh-huh.
and let all the congregation stone him.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, whosoever curseth his God shall bear his sin.
Look, the Most High didn't care because your daddy an Egyptian. You on this covenant, you curse these scriptures. You say whatever, and he was cursing. Mm-hmm. He was putting down the Most High. They're like, put him to death then.
Stone him.
Stone him, put him to death. So, y'all, we just showed you that to show you Acts 16 ain't saying nothing different than what's in here. Is the woman punished for marrying an Egyptian like man? That's what we waiting to see right here. Huh?
You know how Israel is, man.
Well, who husband that?
The boy daddy.
He talking about
the daddy. Oh, okay, boy, the boy daddy. Boy, I thought. Well, look here. Look, don't know. Look, you know where he at. He disappeared.
Come on.
He can't take that Israelite child. Look.
He's an Egyptian.
Our baby.
Yeah. He's in rulership. He's in his kingdom.
If our women have a child with a black Egyptian, it loses its flavor on their side. They know. Where did you get this bastard? I'm talking about the baby could be dark. It's rich back there, but they'll say, look, you have here a red bone. Where did he come from?
Disgraced our family.
You say a red bone.
Boy, look here. Where we at?
Acts 16.
Back into that.
Yeah. Y'all, we ain't got but about 15 minutes, y'all. We're going to roll on through these.
Oh, boy.
Acts 16:4.
What it say?
And as they went through the cities, they delivered them the decrees for the keep that were ordained of the apostles and elders which were at Jerusalem. And so were the churches established in the faith and increased in number daily. Now when they had gone throughout Phrygia.
Yes.
Phrygia.
Phrygia. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. In the region of Galatia, and were forbidden of the Holy Ghost to preach the word in Asia. After they were come to Mysia, they essayed to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit suffered them not. And they passing by Mysia came down to Troas. And a vision appeared to Paul. In the night, there stood a man of Macedonia and prayed him, saying, come over into Macedonia and help us. And after he had seen the vision, immediately we endeavored to go into Macedonia, assuredly gathering that the Most High had called us for to preach the gospel unto them. Therefore, losing from Troas, we came with a straight course to
Samothracia.
Samothracia.
Yes, sir.
Whoa, boy, that's that boy.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Go ahead.
And the next day to Neapolis.
Yeah.
And from thence to Philippi, which is the chief city of that part of Macedonia, and a colony. And we were in that city abiding certain days. And on the Sabbath we went out of the city by a riverside, where prayer was wont to be made. And we sat down and spake unto the women which restored thither.
Resorted thither. Wait a minute.
Thither.
Is this out of order? Go ahead, read some more. No, it ain't.
And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of
Thyatira,
which worship Yahweh, heard us, whose heart the Most High opened, that she attended unto the things which were spoken of Paul. And when she was baptized, her and her household, she besought us, saying, if ye have judged me to be faithful unto the Most High, come into my house and abide there. And she constrained her.
And she looked, see what she ordered? She said, look, if you didn't check me out, if you didn't run my record, if I'm cool, y'all please stay here tonight and spread this word some more. But first check my record. She didn't try to lure him in there with no hot pants on and a
tube top.
Tube top. I was thinking of it. I was going to say a culotte top, but that's them the shorts. Go ahead, bro.
16. Boy, you remember them tube tops?
Yeah. Boy, yes, sir.
And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying.
What she bringing much gain by?
Soothsaying.
The
same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High Yah, which show unto us the way of salvation.
You see how the devil, you can't blame it on the devil.
Right. He knows.
The devil blames you for playing with him. But the devil will never tell you to break God's law. It ain't in here. He's the accuser of our brethren. If he give you a free case, how he going to accuse you before the Father that knows everything? He threw him out because of what was in his heart, not what he displayed. He read his heart and say, boy, you up to no good. Let's read some more.
Verse 18.
Yeah.
And this did she many days. But Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the Spirit, I command thee in the name of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach to come out of her. And he came out that same hour.
Look, that's how quick they come out. It ain't no 12-step program. It ain't nothing. They're like, leave her alone and get going. Look, the devil done already told you they fear and tremble. So why are you scared of them and they scared of the law?
Right.
The more you keep the law, that rushes their judgment day to the lake of fire.
That's why he says, are you coming to torment us before
the time?
Right.
So all this stuff in the Exorcist movie, were they putting holy water in that reading all these Bible verses?
That come from another doctrine. It's
Satan
like
Satan is a house divided.
That's why they always get thrown out the window, the priest. And when you look at him on the concrete, his arm be twisted like this, and his head be spent all the way backwards. He be looking at the crack of his rear end, you know, and you like, Satan can't cast out Satan. Y'all done seen the pictures, ain't you? You be like, shit. It's a doodle stain back there. I'm dead. Look, I'm just messing with y'all. But look here, y'all. Satan can't cast out Satan. That's why, and look, this is why, y'all, we say Satan never lied. He show you the Catholics can't cast out a demon. So how we gonna say that they're doing exorcism is getting low? The devil showing you it don't work.
Right.
And when you go chasing, he just showed you it don't work with us. It's like the Baal priests with Elijah. They start cutting themselves. That was their nature, to cut themselves to make their God show up. Right. Boy, I'm talking about they were slicing all up here and
Elijah
split down there. And look, the Arabs do that too. They got a day where they split their head and forehead with knives.
But not only that, you got other nations that will prick themselves and hang themselves up ourselves.
Right. They beat themselves with fish hooks on the.
They impale themselves with fish hooks.
That ain't in here. That's somebody else writing that we get blamed that they can find it. You can't find that in here.
What's that supposed to do?
That's where they pledge their allegiance. But look at it. Arabs' day of whatever it's called, split their head. You'll see a man walking around there like day is up. Everybody head bleeding like, boy, Samson went through there with a jawbone of an ass.
Yep. And they do it to themselves.
Let's read some more, y'all. We ain't got but 5 minutes.
All right, 11.
18. Yeah, you way over there. Yeah. No,
18.
you really in
17.
19.
19. Yeah. 20.
Yeah,
no, you're 19.
19. Yeah. 18, the last one. Yeah.
Okay, 19 it is. And when her master saw that the hope of their gains were gone.
What did they see?
The hope of
the
their
paper
gains.
Gone.
Right. They messed up our money.
Go ahead.
They caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers and brought them to the magistrates, saying, These men,
with my money.
being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city.
Right.
And teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe being Roman.
Look, now the Israelites gonna claim they Americans. These Israelites saying that. They causing trouble around her. These was the Pharisees. They stirring us up the same way Paul screamed on, not Paul, them Cephas them screamed on Pilate. If you don't crucify him, you know what we're going to do? We're going to tell Caesar you accept him as being the king.
Right.
Think we won't? Put us in jail. He'll run and still tell Caesar, and then see what Caesar going to do to you. And that's when Pilate just say, you Negroes is crazy. I'm through with this. You Negroes crazy. But his blood ain't going to be on my hand. We don't care nothing about that nigga. His blood be on us and our children.
Boy, Daniel sound like he was there.
Boy, look here. When you have a statesman turn and say, these niggas finna charge it, they finna rush the Senate. They weren't gonna do nothing though. Let's read some more. That's why they was asking for Caesar.
That's right. 22.
Yeah.
And the multitude rose up together against them. And the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them. And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely. Who, having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison and made their feet fast in the stocks. And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto Elohim, and the prisoners heard them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake.
What was there?
An earthquake. So that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and immediately all the doors were open, and everyone's bands were loosed, and the keeper of the prison awakened out of his sleep.
Now look at him. He at work, and what is he doing? See, this is the same thing that happened to Jerry Epstein. You know them Hebrews that was watching him with sleep? They were taking shift breaks and on the internet and knocked out. When they looked up, they like, shit, he done hung himself. They had them on lockdown. Go ahead, Lisha. Now look, the prisoner, they sleep at work. Go ahead.
And the keeper of the prison awakening out of his sleep and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself.
What was he gonna do? Kill himself. Like, shit, that's like you watching the fire at night, you nod off and let the fire go out.
Right.
You had to leave the camp. You couldn't stay there anymore. They just point that way. Get going high. You let the fire go out. And look, he knew that them prisoners wasn't there. He like, yeah, I'm gonna pull Harry Carey.
Man, they gonna kill, because he knew his head was on a platter. Caesar was the ruler.
Look, and what else did he do? He slept through the earthquake.
Yeah.
Right. Boy, he had to be knocked out.
Let's read some more.
Boy, that's a hard sleep.
Look, yeah, I mean, he just shit probably woke up just a minute. Who farted and went right back to sleep? Go ahead, bro.
And would have killed himself, supposing that the prisoners had been fled.
Yeah.
But Paul cried with a loud voice, saying, do thyself no harm, for we are all here. Then he called for a light, and sprang in, and came trembling, and fell down before Paul and Silas, and brought them out, and said, sirs, what must I do to be saved?
Now, who's in charge of this? Is this a white man? Right. Or is this an Israelite running the jail?
It's a white man.
Sleep at work, boy, we would have to question it, but
it's a Roman.
We believe it's a Roman.
It's a Roman.
Look, cause, boy, if you've never been caught at work, boy, you have to learn how to sleep at work professionally when you're in front of a computer. You be like this. And they're like you there, and you just have to start praying. And I want to thank you, Lord, for all you have done for me. Yes, sir, how may I help you? Like, you better have been praying. Go ahead. Where we at?
You could be praying for verse 30.
Yeah.
31. And they said, believe on the Lord Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, and thou shalt be saved and thy house.
Look, That's what they had to do, but there's more than just believing. It's not just you can just let it come out of your mouth. Believe it, you promote how he came, how he got here, his beginning, his ending, his judgment day, his care for you. That's when you believe, when you understand everything about him. You say, I believe he the one. These ones who turned their back on the Messiah never believed in him, period. Yeah. They never took the time to study about him. They never put on Christ. Right. See, there's a difference. You can talk Christ, but you have to put on Christ. Mm-hmm. He have to almost take over your being, so to speak, that he lives inside of you.
That's right.
But he can't live inside of you when you're playing both sides of the fence. You got the devil living in one side of you, and then you try to bring Christ in. Christ don't dwell in no temples like that.
No, double-minded man.
Double-minded man.
Spirit of discipline will flee.
More of that, Elisha. We're going to close out after this, y'all.
Verse 32.
Yeah.
And they spake unto him the word of the Most High, and to all that were in his house. And he took them the same hour of the night, and washed their stripes, and was baptized, he and all his, straightway. And when he had brought them into his house, he set meat before them.
What did he say before him?
Hospitality.
No, he baptized me. What did he say for him?
Meat.
Okay. Mine say lettuce. No, I'm just messing. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Lamb.
Go ahead.
Beef. Before them, and rejoice, believing in Yahweh with all his house. And when it was day, the magistrates sent the sergeants, saying, let those men go. And the keeper of the prison told this, saying to Paul, the magistrates have sent to let you go. Now therefore depart, and go in peace. But Paul said unto them, they have beaten us openly. Niggas don't whoop us
yeah. Now you gonna just let us go? Go ahead.
Being Romans, and have cast us into prison. And now do they thrust us out privately?
Be right.
Nay, verily. But let them come themselves and fetch us out. And the sergeants told these words unto the magistrates. And they feared when they heard that they were Romans. And they came and besought them and brought them out and desired them to depart out of the city. And they went out of the prison and entered into the house of Lydia. And when they had seen the brethren, they comforted them and departed.
Now, y'all, real quick, y'all gonna hit a little bit of this Galatians 2, because that was Ark William that had that question about what's going on in Galatians. That was Ark William, y'all. Ark William come down and fellowship with us, so he was just asking from the perspective. And y'all, this is what happened when people dictate the Bible to you. When on Galatians 2 say that, you got to take the time and say, hold on, let me see, where you reading from? We get so scared that they convinced us that the Bible is tampered with, and they are already throwing the scripts at you. If your mind say, Lord, have mercy, I ain't studied that. All you have to say is, you know what? Can you give me a day, and I'll pray to the Most High that he keep breath in my body, and I'm going to get back to you.
But you have to get back
to You have to get back with it.
Yep.
It's no problem saying, let me study the matter further. But you have to get back to them. Otherwise, they feel he don't trust in his own book. He don't trust his own work. So now I'm victorious. Now I can say all this I can keep repeating this madness.
Yeah.
Until they run up to someone that studied.
Right.
But you have to get back to them. You have to do your work. Hate not laborers' work.
And look, we done did it because like we don't profess to know all of everything about these scriptures and below the age of 70. But we had a boy, he said, look, man, this boy, y'all know him, Dickie Shepherd. I ain't gonna hold no punches. He got me on the phone with him. Down on a Goodfellow and Natural Bridge. Got on the phone with him. Yeah, what's this about this baptism? I beseech you, brother. And I mean, was talking so smooth that if you don't baptize, I'm telling you, it won't allow you. And Philip, he was in this, and I say, tell you what, I say, let me holler back at you in about a week. I call Elijah up. I say, Elijah, this boy, we got to going through them Acts 19 and all of the baptism. And Paul say, did I baptize you and only baptize this house? We call him back. Hello? I said, yeah, this brother Dan and STL, I told you I was going to, what? I said, I told you I was going to call you back this week. I got my brother on the line, Elisha. Elisha, shalom, bro. How you doing? It's Elisha, you know. I said, what we want to do, man, is we call back to get back at you on this baptism. And what we want to know is water emission, the only form, water immersion, the only form of baptism. Heard a pause, and then he said, who you say you got on the phone with you? Like I said, this Elisha, this is brother. Nigga, don't call her with no nigga on the phone. Click up!
He was looking for the exit.
No, I'm just saying, right that quick. All I did was ask him a question, and then I'm going to move on with mine. Is water immersion the only form of baptism? And his wheels would turn, and he said because they came through the Red Sea and they was baptized, did a sandal get wet coming through the Red Sea? Nope. It said they walked through like it was dry ground, didn't it? And then wheels started turning. He thinking these niggas that went and studied. This ain't my average suckers here. And they actually called me back on the day that they said they would. Boy. Hung up on me. If you don't believe I got his number in the back of the Bible, I kept his number. But I ain't gonna shout it out. He know it.
I bear witness. I was on the phone.
Let's get a little bit of this Galatians 2. Yes, sir, and we'll close on out, y'all, because William had this question about Galatians 2, and we
Galatians
need to see
chapter 2, verse 1.
Where it say Gentiles can teach.
Galatians.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. There. Then 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, I took Titus with me also. And I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that gospel which I preach among the Gentiles. But privately to them which were of reputation, lest by any means I should run or had run in vain. But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek.
What was Titus?
A Greek. Was compelled to be circumcised.
Right.
And that because of false brethren, unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty which we have in Christ Yahushua, that they might bring us into bondage.
So this is right here where they're saying Titus is a Greek. So how is he giving out the law? This is a question. This is where one of them run to, but you just said all Greeks was Israelites that didn't know who they were. So it would still be legal from that trickery perspective, but it's just telling you Titus, just like it started off with Timothy. His dad, he got Greek in it. Let's read some more and it'll clear itself up.
That's right. Verse 5. To whom we gave place by subjection. No, not for an hour, that the truth of the gospel might continue with you. But of these who seem to be somewhat whatsoever they were, it maketh no matter to me. Yahweh accepted no man's person. For they who seemed to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me.
They had nothing to say. Go ahead.
But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter, for he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles. And when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, sons of thunder, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave to me and Barnabas the right hands of fellowship, that we should go unto the heathen, and they unto the circumcised.
So that was the deal. They like, we see the power with you. You go to the uncircumcised, we go to the circumcised. You understand what I'm saying? If this was flesh only and that we're talking, this is talking heart. Y'all understand what I'm saying? This is talking heart, not flesh. If it was about flesh, it wouldn't even matter at this point. That's right. That they go separately. They would go, both of them would be going to the same individual. You can't go to one and he's uncircumcised and it's saying like that. This is talking about heart, not flesh. Because they would have to have a checker, wouldn't they? I come to teach y'all, I only want the uncircumcised. Now everybody around here drop your shorts and we'll get the teaching started. No, it wasn't that. It was talking about the heart. Because as they get to arguing, you're going to see the conversation is about the consciousness. Let's read some more.
That's right. Verse 10.
Yeah.
Only they would that we should remember the poor, the same which I also was forward to do. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed.
See, he withstood him to the face. You know what that means? What we say in today's term. I withstood him to the face. I take that nigga to his face. Ain't that what we say? I withstood him to the face. That means I didn't go through nobody else. I called him personally, and I need to talk to you right here, right now. I need to talk to you, Peter. Let's read some more.
For before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision.
Fearing them which were of the circumcision under the covenant, so to speak. He say, Peter withdrew himself. This Paul screaming on Peter. Oh, when you see the old school Israelite James them, then you eating with some Gentiles, you slide away. Excuse me, I'll have to go to the restroom. There will be a number 2, so I may not be back.
Because see,
and disappear.
Because see, James and John and Cephas was hardcore.
Yeah.
They did not play. Hardcore. That's
but this respective person. But this respective person, they more scared of them than the Most High.
That's right.
But Paul wasn't having it. Let's read what else Paul say.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
And the other Jews disassembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation.
And Barnabas was even looking like, damn. It's like how you will have somebody, see you around Gentiles, and you've been teaching with Gentiles. All of a sudden, they get a wild hair up their rear end, and they exclude Gentiles from coming around, except for their money. Same thing, y'all. Same mindset, y'all. Smile in their face, laughing. May have borrowed a few dollars from us. But then you think you're up and running, and better not no heathen come nowhere around her. Let's read some more.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
But when I saw that they walked not uprightly.
What did they do?
Walk not uprightly, according to the truth of the gospel. I said unto Peter, before them all, if thou being a Jew, livest after the manner of Gentiles, and not as do the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as do the Jews? We who are Jews by nature and not sinners of the Gentiles, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Even we have believed in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach that we might be justified by the faith of Hamashiach, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
By the works of the law shall no flesh be justified, because it could be routine. Abraham didn't get circumcised until he was 99. If you just circumcise a man like they want to do, they want to be on record with, what you talking, nigga? I got 315 circumcisions. What you got? See, it was just about the flesh, to glory in the flesh of a man.
Just like the boy who went away sorrowful because he said he did all the laws from his youth up. Christ said, go sell everything.
Everything you got, the king is here. The king is here.
No, he went around, he was sorrowful.
Look, he said, the king is here. Get your name wrote in the book of life now. That money, you can't buy your name in there. And he went away sorrowful. Said, but he kept all the other commandments, but he can keep them because he got paper. We could keep all the commandments if we had paper, except for salvation. If you got paper, shit, a lot of the problems we having to fix our issues, wouldn't they?
Sure would. It says money is a defense, Ecclesiastes 12.
You had them go shopping on the Sabbath. Yeah, you do this, you do that, and you stay free. But if you don't believe this is about Messiah trying to fix what happened in the garden, you wasting your time. You blowing charity. Let's read some more. Let's finish that out.
17.
Yeah.
But if, while we seek to be justified by Hamashiach, we ourselves are also found sinners, is therefore Hamashiach the minister of sin? Yahweh forbid.
No, he ain't the minister of sin. God forbid. If he's circumcised, then we ought to be circumcised. Not listen to nobody tell us that it's with threatening. You're going to be short. You ain't going to be able to accomplish nothing. When she says more, you just gonna go in a circle more. That ain't making more. You just made a circle. Let's move on. I ain't trying to get too much in there. That ain't gonna make more.
You already said enough.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. For if I build again the things which I destroy, I make myself a transgressor.
Right.
For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto Yahweh. I am crucified with Hamashiach.
Right.
Nevertheless I live. Yet not I, but Hamashiach liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Yahweh, who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not frustrate the grace of Yahweh. For if righteousness come by the law, then Hamashiach is dead in vain.
Because you can keep the law and not believe in Messiah. So the deal is, under this priesthood, you got to believe in the Melchizedek priest and the law from that perspective. Or you wasting your time with this. So your only other choice is to go back to Aaron, which then gonna make you become a non-messianic and get rid of the New Testament. Paul is clear here. Problem with people, they thinking that all the disciples, that because it says Titus was a Greek, we can't read nothing he's saying. He's talking to Greeks. He was trained to talk to them. And they're saying, well, the law only came through the Israelites. What are you talking about? The Israelite trained him. That's what we said. The argument is about who training the Gentile, ain't it? The writers is just writing about what he did after he was trained. Was Luke an Israelite? No. Luke was a physician. Luke just ran with them and he was writing everything the Israelites was doing. Man, he was an eyewitness. You don't have to be an Israelite to be an eyewitness.
Job wasn't an Israelite.
Was he? You just writing what you seen the Israelites do as a witness for your people. Yo, I saw it. I witnessed it with my own eye. Them Israelites did that. But when Silas and Paul got locked up, guess who they let go? Luke. Hey, no, we just looking for them two niggas. You gonna get on away from here. Get away from here, Luke. They locked up the brothers and let the Gentile go like they do today, don't they? Yes. All Luke did is Luke recorded what he saw. Luke ain't never said, I'm an apostle. Was he a disciple? Yes, he's a believer in Messiah. But what we're talking about is Luke is recording what the disciples did.
These are the testimonies of the nations.
Is that hard?
Most High created all the nations. These are testimonies from the nations. How you say he's only the God of the Israelites only and he created other people?
How you going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah with no laws? You invented them to destroy them. Watch stink come up to that and then I'm going to kill them. See, this is how bad it gets when we don't study and we let them dictate the Bible to us and they don't believe it. Would you let somebody sell you a Hyundai and they convincing you it's a Rolls Royce? Look, we done put the grill on it and it's got a Rolls Royce bumper. When you go through the ghetto, boy, they gonna be jumping. They gonna say that nigga in a Rolls. No, they ain't.
Wow. You gonna say, boy, that nigga silly in the background. Boy, Batman ain't that silly.
Yeah.
We got a Rolls Royce on.
Anybody got any questions out there too, man? Boy, look here. And the bumper.
And that's falling off.
Yeah.
Because it don't matter.
Yeah. That's what white folks say about us. Yeah, boy, you Hebrews just want to put rims on everything. They want to put rims on who we get to just read in the Bible about. They're misunderstood on what the Bible is talking about. And who made statements. Do we look at who wrote the proclamations about Purim? Who was that gave the proclamation? That was the king of Ahasuerus, what's his name?
Ahasuerus.
And had his boy killed about us. Those writings are in their writings. Have y'all ever heard of the Cyrus cylinder? Yeah. Look that up and see who wrote that about us. Cyrus the Persian wrote about Israel, and there's a stone called the Cyrus cylinder. Do we get rid of that too because it was written by a Persian? Or do we accept it? Because either one let us go back and build a second temple, or do we throw it out? And they ain't let us go back. Man, that's a bunch of bull stuff. We went back on our own and rebuilt the temple. No, you ain't did nothing.
No. Because not only that, he made what do you call it, donations
Yeah.
to the building.
Yes, sir.
And just like, you know, they talk about that the Exodus was a myth, but they found, archaeologists found the writings, the hieroglyphs of the story of Moses and the Exodus on Pharaoh's youngest son's tomb.
Boy.
Because Pharaoh was so arrogant, he never recorded his defeats. So they never found the story of the Exodus on Ramses' tombs or anything because he was arrogant. Remember, he hardened his heart, so he wouldn't let Israel go. So he never recorded any of his defeats. He only recorded all his conquests. However, when they dug up his youngest son, who was not killed in the firstborn plague by the Most High, he had the whole story on his tablets.
Before we get out of here, look at what we're saying right now. Somebody right now, Google Public Law 97-280 and read it real loud for me, real quick, and we're going to close out. So you get the understanding of all Luke, Titus, and them did. It was just written about their acts after they got the word of God, because we're reading. The power has come on the Gentiles too, but you'll never read them, and they're teaching the Israelites. Gentile has Israelite at his kneecaps, as the word has said. We ain't never said that. Y'all just misunderstanding the New Testament. Put some work in. Yo, slothful ain't just talking about physical. It means slothful up here too. You can get slothful up here. Yeah. Sitting right in front of the TV and think you can change it with your mind. Turn the channel. Turn the channel.
Sleep and folding of the hand.
Damn. Turn the channel. Damn. Click up. Or reaching for the remote, y'all. That's how slothful we done got up here. We don't want to do nothing. As soon as a new wind doctor come out, there we go chasing. And it's gone faster than a fart in the wind. And that's all these doctrines are. They're going to be gone real quick because we done heard them 30 years ago.
Yep. And a new one comes.
And it'd be just like that. You'd be like, shit, somebody fart. And then it's gone.
Yeah, because those opinions.
That's all these doctrines are like.
They stink, don't
they stinky doctrines. They just smell from it, and then you get going. You like somebody.
And the people that go with them.
Somebody lost their manners. Right. Who's lost their manners saying the New Testament is tampered with? Get going.
Yeah, they lost their manners.
Don't come around here unless you want to live a double life, because that's what you're going to be doing.
Because they know what we going on around here.
We done told you. So if you want to live a double life, you ain't fooling us, you fooling you.
Right. Because it's going to come out in the wash anyway. Whatever you doing in the dark going to come out in the light.
Where we at? What we had? Public Law 97-280. Go ahead. Read that real loud.
Public Law 97-280, October the 4th, 1982.
Y'all listen up.
The 97th Congress, a joint resolution, authorized and requesting the president to proclaim 1983 as the year of the Bible. Whereas the Bible, the Word of God, has made unique contributions in shaping the United States and as a distinctive and blessed nation and people. Whereas deeply held religious convictions springing from the Holy Scriptures lead to the early settlement of our nation. Whereas biblical teachings inspire concepts of civil government that are contained in our Declaration of Independence and Constitution of the United States. Whereas many of our great national leaders, among the President Washington, Jackson, Lincoln, and Wilson, paid tribute to the surpassing influence of the Bible in our country's development, as in the words of President Jackson, the Bible is the rock on which our republic rests.
Now what are we supposed to do about this nation saying that about the Bible? Don't they put it out there when you're in court? See, so should we tell them they can't do that? No, y'all can't have it in court. Then what we gonna put our hand on? Do we go by their books then? Because their books mean we ain't gonna even have a trial. You guilty, nigga. Or we can go by the Bible. Y'all understand?
All right, family. We're going to get this closing prayer, and it's with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. And we know him as Jesus the Christ, family. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 15th chapter, it reads, Master, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart.
Yes, sir.
He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is condemned. But he honoreth them that fear the Most High. He that sweareth to his own hurt, and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved.
Hallelujah! Say y'all, one last thing, as the brother say, all it is, y'all, another one bites the dust. Y'all know what that means? Satan's curse was to eat dirt. Snakes don't eat dirt. They taste it to see where they food at. His punishment coming, Isaiah 65:20, and then shall the dust be the serpent's meat, because it's the residue of all those that believed in him. So, yeah, another one bites the dust, y'all. Don't bite the dust.
Right.
Y'all got a shekel or two. We greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all. All our family all over the world, we want to thank y'all for what y'all do for us, y'all. And we promise that the Most High give us breath, we will continue the lessons to y'all and understanding. Y'all got something on your heart and mind? Put it out there on God's Warrior 298. Y'all got something y'all want to say? Immediately call the radio show. One love, family.